Good morning, dear friend. As the first light spills gently over the horizon and the world stirs from slumber, I welcome you into this sacred moment, a time untouched, unburdened, and full of quiet possibility. The dawn is not just the beginning of a new day. It is a gift, a divine invitation to pause, breathe, and reset. In this early hush before the demands of life awaken, you are not just another voice in the crowd. You are seen, heard, and deeply known. Perhaps you have woken up today with a weight pressing on your chest. Maybe your heart still carries the bruises of yesterday's silence, the ache of unanswered questions, or the quiet grief of a loss no one else fully understands. You might be navigating a season of fear that makes you doubt if light will ever break through again. There are moments like last night, or this very morning, when even the strength to whisper a prayer feels too far beyond reach. Maybe you are tired of fighting, tired of pretending, or simply tired of hoping. If that is you, then this moment is not an accident. You are exactly where you need to be. I once knew a woman who rose each day before the sun. Her husband had walked out on her. Her child was battling illness, and the debt collectors never stopped calling. And yet, each morning, before the world knocked on her fragile door, she would wrap herself in an old blanket, kneel by her bedside, and speak, not always with eloquent words, not even with confidence, but with tears. She would whisper into the silence, not because she felt strong, but because she had nothing else left. Over time, the strength she once thought had abandoned her began to return, not from within, but from above. Peace followed her into the day. Provision met her in unexpected places. And even when her problems were not instantly solved, she was no longer walking alone. That is the mysterious beauty of prayer. It does not always change the situation immediately, but it changes us softly, quietly, persistently. Prayer is not a performance or a formula. It is a sacred conversation, a way of placing our trembling hands into the steady hands of the one who holds time, healing, and hope. It is not about having the right words, but the right posture, a posture of surrender, openness, and expectancy. And there is no better time to begin that conversation than in the stillness of morning. This is more than a daily ritual. It is a journey into the heart of God, a return to what is most real, most needed, and most powerful. Each word we speak in faith becomes a seed, planted into the soil of this new day. And when we dare to speak blessings, when we dare to believe that God still listens, still heals, still moves, we begin to shift the very atmosphere around us. So as the sun climbs higher and the world begins to hum with life, I invite you to pause with me, to silence the noise, to leave behind the fear, the regret, and the pressure to have it all together. You are not here to impress God. You are here to be embraced by Him. Let your heart exhale. Let your soul unfold. Let this be the morning you do more than wake up. Let it be the morning you rise. Wherever you are, however broken or brave you may feel, the door to divine presence is already open. All that remains is for you to step through it, not with perfection, but with trust. Let us begin. Dear Heavenly Father, I come before you in the stillness of this early morning, not with eloquence, not with strength, but with a tired heart that barely knows how to speak. I woke up today carrying more weight than rest, more questions than clarity, and more silence than peace. It feels like I opened my eyes to the same storm that raged inside me yesterday. The bed was warm, but my heart was cold. The sky outside is waking with color, but inside, it still feels dark. And yet, here I am, drawn to this moment with you, not because I feel strong, but because I do not because I have answers, but because I am learning to trust in yours. Sometimes I wonder how you see me when I am like this, when I do not bring praise, or poetry, or power, just this aching soul and trembling hope. When my thoughts are scattered and my prayers do not feel beautiful, I wonder if you are disappointed. But something in me keeps believing that you are not, that you see the worn-out parts of me and lean in closer, not away, that even in this fragile place, you are listening, watching, waiting, not with impatience, but with love. I do not know how to fix what is broken. I do not even know how to describe it all. But I know what it feels like. It feels like walking through fog, trying to find my way without a map. It feels like holding my breath through a world that moves too fast and expecting myself to keep up. It feels like pretending I am okay when I am not. I carry invisible weights, fears I do not name, doubts I do not admit, pain I hide behind busy schedules and quiet smiles. But you see it all, do not you? Every tear I swallowed, every sigh I released into my pillow, every time I tried to smile while something inside was falling apart. And so I bring it all to you now. No filter. No performance. Just me. Just the soul you formed and know and love. The one you have seen cry behind closed doors. The one you have held together when everything else was falling apart. I need you today in ways I can't even express. Not just to make things better, but to make me believe again. To remind me that you are near, that you still care, that I am not invisible to you, that I am not forgotten. There is a kind of tired that sleep does not fix, a kind of ache that medicine can't numb. That is what I am bringing to you. The weariness in my chest, the tightness in my throat, the heaviness in my spirit. I have been strong for too long, and I am tired of pretending. I do not want to hold it all together anymore. I want to fall apart in your hands, if that is what it takes to be whole again. I want to trust that you are not disappointed in my weakness, but present in it. That you are not demanding perfection, only presence. That you welcome even this messy, exhausted version of me into your arms. I have been trying to be enough on my own, to figure it out, to stay afloat. But I can't anymore. I was not made to carry this alone. You never asked me to, so I am letting go. Not of everything, just of the illusion that I have to be okay all the time. I am letting go of the pressure to perform, to please, to be perfect. I am letting go of the lies that say I am not worthy of peace, or joy, or healing. I am choosing, right now, To be honest with you and with myself, I am not okay, but I believe you are here. And somehow, that is enough for today. Hold me in this silence. Speak to the places inside me that I do not even understand. Let your nearness wrap around me like a blanket when the world feels too loud. Let your voice be the whisper that calms the chaos. Let your love be the anchor when I feel like drifting again. I do not need a miracle this second. I just need to know you are close. I just need to know that I am not praying into an empty sky, but into the heart of a Father who still holds me, even when I feel lost. I want to believe again. I want a hope without fear, to trust without conditions. But I do not know how to get there from here. I do not know how to move forward when everything inside me feels stuck. So take my hand. Lead me one step at a time. No pressure. No pace. Just grace. Just presence. Just you. I do not know what today holds. I do not know if it will be easy or hard, gentle or heavy. But I know that you are here. And if you are here, then I have everything I need to begin. Not perfectly. Not boldly. Just honestly. Just slowly. Just faithfully. Thank you for seeing me in this place. For loving me even when I do not love myself well. For staying near when I do not feel worth staying for. You are better than I understand, kinder than I deserve, and more patient than I have ever been with myself. So here I am, a soul in the morning, weak but willing, wounded but reaching, tired but turning toward you. Not because I feel like a mighty warrior, but because I am learning that sometimes the greatest strength is just showing up, and that even if all I can do is whisper your name through tears, you count it as worship, you call it holy, you meet me there. And that, maybe, is all I need to begin again. God, I cannot pretend that my heart is steady today. What I feel, more than anything, is the trembling underneath everything, the part of me that is holding on. But barely, and as I continue from where I left off, something deeper rises, now a cry that words cannot fully hold. It is not refined or rehearsed. It does not sound like faith, but it is the kind of faith that comes from the cracks, from the corners, from the middle of a quiet collapse. It is a cry not for clarity, but for comfort, not for all the answers, but just one clear sign that I am not alone in this shadowed place. Father, I do not know how to pray beautifully right now. What I do know is how to ache, how to feel the hollow places in my chest echo with questions I cannot quiet, how to sit in the dark with open hands and not know what to ask for anymore. The truth is, I am not seeking a way out as much as I am seeking a way through. I need you not just to change things, but to change me in the middle of them. Because if you are here in the dark, then it is not as hopeless as it feels. If your presence reaches even here, then maybe I do not need to run from this night. Maybe I just need to find you inside of it. I cannot keep pretending I am unshaken. I have stood too long with a brave face, while my soul quietly unraveled. So now I fall inward into you, into the arms I cannot see, but somehow sense, into the silence that is not empty, but sacred. Let this cry be enough for now. This groaning that only you fully understand. Let it rise to where you sit above the noise of this world. Let it find you the way a child's voice finds a mother in a crowd instantly. Instinctively, God, I am not angry at you. I am just tired. Tired of holding my breath through storms. Tired of watching people around me move forward while I stay stuck. Tired of waking up to the same battles I thought I had already won. I know I should be grateful. I know I have blessings I cannot count. But even the blessed bleed sometimes. Even the grateful can grow weary. And you, more than anyone, understand what it is to weep alone in the night, to feel the weight of what no one else sees. I need to believe again that tears are not wasted, that this pain is not a sign of weakness, but an offering, that this desperate reaching is not failure, but worship. I lift this fragile heart to you, not because it is ready, but because it is real, because I am done pretending, because I am learning that honesty is holier than perfection, that you are more drawn to brokenness than to polish, that you do not need me to be fearless, just willing. So I cry, not loudly, not with drama, but with the quiet, guttural H of a soul that is reaching past its own fear. I cry because I miss the nearness I used to feel. I cry because the silence makes me question if I did something wrong. I cry because I want to believe that you are still writing my story and not letting it fall apart in your hands. I cry because somewhere inside me still believes you can redeem even this. Lord, if you are near, draw closer still. Let this cry be heard not as a complaint, but as a confession that I need you more than I need resolution, that I want your presence more than I want comfort, that I choose you even in the dark, especially in the dark. Let my whisper carry to you like incense, rising not because it is strong, but because it is surrendered. There is no one else I trust with this kind of rawness. No one else I would open these wounds before. You alone know how to sit beside me in silence and still speak peace. You alone know how to breathe life into dust and hope into bones. And even though I do not yet feel the shift, even though nothing outside of me has changed, I choose to believe that something is stirring, that something is beginning, that you are already moving in ways I cannot yet perceive. Meet me in this H. Wrap yourself around this sorrow like a warm cloak on a shivering body. Turn my cry into a river of grace. Let what feels like the end become the beginning of something holy, something I did not expect, something that only grows in darkness, like a seed buried in soil. Let my tears become the water that draws roots downward, deeper into you. And if I must cry again tomorrow, I will. And if I wake again with a weight I cannot name, I will still come. I will still whisper into the morning, into the silence, into the mystery, because somehow I know you will meet me here again. And this cry that feels like the end may just be the doorway to something more beautiful than I have known before. So I will cry, Lord, and I will trust that you will catch every tear. Not one falls without your notice. Not one drop is unseen. You collect them. I have heard. You hold them like treasure. You treat my pain not as weakness, but as invitation. You call me not by what I feel, but by who I am yours. And maybe that is enough for today. Maybe the cry in the dark is not a breaking, but a beckoning, a way through, a way home. Lord, even as my heart continues to cry out, something inside me is stirring, faint but steady, like a memory trying to surface through the fog. It is not a loud voice or a blazing sign, but a whisper, a soft pull reminding me that this is not the first time I have needed you this deeply. And it is not the first time you have come through. There were other mornings like this, other nights full of silence, other seasons when I thought I would never feel whole again. And yet, somehow, I did. Somehow, you brought me through. I remember the way you found me when I thought I had disappeared. The way you sent comfort in the form of a friend as unexpected message. The way peace came not with thunder, but with a stillness that covered me like a soft rain. I remember praying through tears once and thinking, this is too small for God, but you proved me wrong. Nothing was ever too small for you if it mattered to my heart. And I remember the moment I almost gave up on a promise, and then, like a crack of light through a shuttered window, you moved. Not always how I imagined, not always quickly, but always faithfully. Father, let my memory be more than nostalgia. Let it be fuel. Let it be the proof I need to believe again. You have never failed me, even when I thought you were late. You have never forgotten me, even when I went quiet. You have always moved in ways that surprised me. And though I do not understand all the delays, I cannot deny the times you delivered. I have stories etched into my soul, moments only you, and I know where your hand reached down and lifted me from what felt like certain despair. Let those memories breathe again. Let them rise above my fear today. Let them become my anchor. God, I confess that I forget too easily. I get lost in the waiting. I let the dust of disappointment cover the altars we built together. But not this morning. Not now. This time, I choose to remember, to return in my mind to those sacred places where you met me before, when you opened doors that no one else could, when you gave strength that did not make sense, when you healed what I thought would always be broken. I choose to remember not just the facts, but the feeling, what it felt like to know you were near, what it felt like to walk through fire and not be burned because you were beside me. Even in the moments when I felt most abandoned, something always happened to remind me you had not left. A verse on the radio that sounded like it had been written just for me. A stranger's kindness that pierced through my despair. A sunrise that painted the sky with so much beauty, it made my pain feel small for a moment. I did not always thank you. I did not always see it in the moment. But looking back, I know now it was you. It was always you. So I let today erase what you have already done. I let current pain cancel past faithfulness. I let the H of now silence the song of then, because the same God who brought me through every other valley is still God, still near, still listening, still moving even when I cannot yet see how. I think about how the Israelites were told to build stones of remembrance, not because God needed reminders, but because they did, because we all do. I think about the journals I once kept, filled with answers to prayer, names of people who were healed, debts that were unexpectedly paid, doors that miraculously opened. I do not write as much anymore, but this morning, I feel called to remember anyway, to write it on my heart if not on paper, to build altars in my spirit, to let gratitude push back the numbness. Lord, remind me of the days when I danced in your presence without needing a reason. Remind me of the hours I once spent praying with fire, believing that nothing was impossible. Bring back the clarity that comes from remembering who you are, not just who I hope you might be, but who I know you have already been to me. You are not just the God of Abraham, or David, or Paul. You are the God of me, my story, my battles, my breakthroughs. I am still here, and that alone is a miracle. I have scars that could have become graves, but instead, they are stories. I have wounds that once bled shame and now speak of healing. I have fears that once paralyzed me, and now they bow beneath the truth that you are greater. And even in this place of waiting, I choose to let remembrance carry me, to let gratitude rise like incense and shift the atmosphere within me. This become the turning point, the moment where my spirit stands up again. Not because all is resolved, but because I remember who walks with me. So let my lips begin to speak again, not just my needs, but my history with you. Let me rehearse the faithfulness I have seen with my own eyes. Let me declare, even in this quiet space, that you are still good, still present, still worthy, not because I feel it, but because I know it. Let every tear I have cried become a reflection of how deeply I have needed you and how deeply you have met me in those needs time and again. I do not know what lies ahead. I cannot see the outcome, but I remember the Red Seas you parted before. I remember the wilderness where you fed me with manna I did not ask for. I remember the nights you kept me from giving up completely. And I remember that you are not finished yet. So I lean into that now, into the evidence that you are faithful, into the unshakable truth that even in the silence, you are still writing. Even in the waiting, you are still working. Even in the shadows, your light is preparing to rise again. Let the past faithfulness fuel my present surrender. Let every remembrance be a quiet victory over doubt. Let the story we have lived together become the foundation I stand on now. Because I have seen you move, and I believe you will move again. Father, as I hold on to the memories of your faithfulness, I feel something shifting inside me, a quiet stirring, like morning light gently pressing through the cracks of a dark room. It is not a loud arrival. It does not shout or demand. It simply enters. And with it comes the whisper that maybe today is not just another continuation of pain, but the beginning of something new. Maybe this is the morning where I dare to speak into the chaos and invite something holy to rise. Let there be light not just outside my window, but within me. Let light touch the corners of my thoughts that have been hiding in fear. Let it press against the places I have kept guarded, the wounds I have dressed with distraction, the questions I have been too afraid to ask. Let it move with tenderness and power, chasing away shadows I have grown too familiar with. I do not want to live in the dark anymore, not in my thoughts, not in my emotions, not in my expectations. I want to live in truth, in clarity, in the gentle brilliance of your presence. God, I confess that I have let some things remain too long in silence. I have allowed lies to settle like dust, covering the truth you once spoke over me. I have made room for doubt, for discouragement, for the subtle voices that say, "This is just how it will always be," but no more. Not this morning. Not while I still have breath to speak. Let there be light, Lord. Let your truth rise like the sun and cut through every falsehood that has made its home in my mind. There is power in your voice. I have seen it in creation, and I have felt it in restoration. When you speak, things shift. The void makes way for vision. The silence gives birth to song. The disorder bows to design. And if you, in the very beginning, could speak light into nothingness, then surely you can speak it into me. Surely you can bring beauty out of this mess, hope out of this heaviness, purpose out of what feels broken. I do not need a full explanation, I just need a word, one word from you, and everything changes. So I speak with you now not as someone who has it all figured out, but as someone who dares to believe that beginnings are still possible, that this morning, though quiet, is sacred, that my words, aligned with yours, carry authority. I stand here in this simple space and echo what you declared long before I ever existed. Let there be light. Let there be light in my decisions, in my relationships, in my inner world where so much has been dimmed by disappointment. Let there be light in how I see myself, not through the lens of failure or fear, but through the lens of who you say I am. Lord, I do not want to keep living in a state of reaction, only responding to pain, to people, to pressures I never invited. I want to live with intention, to rise and speak, not just survive and retreat. Let light guide my choices today. Let it reveal what needs to be faced and what needs to be released. Let it expose the lies that have quietly shaped the way I move through the world. I want your light to burn not with harshness, but with healing, to warm, not to wound, to clarify, not to condemn. And even now, as I pray, I can sense that something is waking up within me, a flicker of courage, a small but certain pull toward life again. It is not dramatic. It does not erase the pain, but it is real. It is the first breath after a long silence, the first step after standing still, the first yes after too many maybes. This is the power of your light, not that it blinds me, but that it helps me see. It gives shape to what was once just confusion. It brings definition to what felt lost. It reveals not only what I must face, but what I already carry. Let this light become my foundation. Let it reach beyond the surface and flood every layer of who I am. I am tired of hiding behind polished answers. I am weary of pretending I am okay while walking in shadows. I want to live in the open, even if it means facing what I have avoided. Because what you expose, you also heal. What you reveal, you also redeem. And what you touch, You never leave the same. God. Let light break through generational patterns that have shaped my thinking. Let it interrupt cycles of shame that have followed me longer than I admit. It dismantle every false identity I have worn like a badge of survival. I am not just the sum of what I have been through. I am not the echo of others' opinions. I am not defined by my lowest moment. Your light says I am more, that I am called, chosen, forgiven, and being formed into something beautiful even now. So I surrender to this light, even if it feels unfamiliar, even if it shows me things I would rather ignore. I trust that what you bring into the light is never meant to shame me, but to set me free. Let this be the morning I stop running from truth and start walking with it. Let this be the moment I decide that honesty is worth the discomfort, that living in light is worth more than the safety of shadows. I want to see, Lord. I want to see what I have missed while stuck in fear. I want to see the doors you are opening, the healing you are bringing, the strength you are awakening. Let my heart stop bracing for the worst and begin expecting the light. Let my words today reflect not my pain, but my promise, not my fear, but my faith. Let my feet follow what my spirit now feels, that you are here, and where you are, no darkness can remain. And if I falter again, if I find myself slipping back into old shadows, remind me that your light never runs out, that every morning is a new chance to speak again, to believe again, to open the windows of my heart and let you shine in. I do not need to understand it all. I just need to trust that you are working even when I cannot yet see the fullness of it. So once more, I say it not as a command, but as a prayer. Let there be light. Let it rise within me. Let it rise around me. Let it rise through every word I speak today. Not to impress anyone, not to prove anything, but to honor the truth that you are the God who speaks. And when you speak, creation happens. Wholeness happens. New beginnings are born. And maybe this morning, this very one, is the beginning of mine. Lord, now that your light has begun to seep into the places I had long buried, I feel something else awakening. It is subtle, but steady, like the stirring of dry bones finding the courage to rise. It is the realization that I do not have to carry the remnants of yesterday into the sacred space of today. That what clings to me from the past does not have permission to follow me into the future. You are preparing. That I have the right, by your grace, to shake off what no longer belongs. Father, I am tired of wearing the weight of what should have been. I am weary of holding on to the dust of old disappointments, regrets that stick like ash, and words spoken over me that I never should have accepted as truth. For too long I have carried false names: failure, not enough, too late. I've let the voices of yesterday define how I walk into today. But this morning, under the authority of your presence and the invitation of your light, I rise. I rise not in arrogance, but in quiet determination. I rise not to impress, but to obey. You are calling me out of what was and into what is becoming. Let me shake off the fear that has kept me small. Let me release the guilt that has silenced my voice. Let me peel away the shame that wrapped itself around me like a second skin. I am done rehearsing old failures. I am done bowing to narratives that do not align with who you say I am. You did not form me from dust only for me to remain buried beneath it. You breathed life into me, not so I would live hidden, but so I would stand. God, you know how tightly I have clung to the familiar pain. Sometimes even heartbreak becomes home when we have carried it long enough. But I do not want to be loyal to sorrow anymore. I do not want to keep my hands full of ashes when you are offering beauty. I do not want to keep bowing to memories that only feed my insecurity. I want to make room for healing, for laughter again, for movement, for freedom. And that means I have to let go of some things, not because they were not real, because they are no longer required for where you are taking me. So I begin, step by trembling step, to shake off the residue of what tried to bury me. I shake off the silent agreements I made with defeat. I shake off the tired scripts that told me I would never change. I shake off the belief that I am too broken to be used. I shake off comparison, bitterness, and the fear of being seen. I shake off the lie that says, I must stay wounded to be worthy. I am not a prisoner to what was. I am a vessel for what will be. Lord, even if I do not yet see the full transformation, I trust that the shaking is part of the process. That sometimes freedom begins in the dust when we decide that the weight we have been carrying is no longer ours to hold. Let this be that moment for me. Let this be the shift. Not loud, not showy, but sacred. Let it happen quietly in the corners of my heart, where I have long believed I could never be clean again. Let it happen as I stand here and declare that I will not live chained to yesterdays you already died to redeem. I choose to walk different today, not because the road has changed, but because I have. I am no longer dragging behind me every failure, every closed door, every no that made me question my worth. I bring only what is necessary: faith, hope, trust, and the quiet belief that you are still not finished. Everything else I leave behind. I do not need to carry the weight of proving myself. I do not need to keep rehearsing my history to justify my healing. You have already justified me. You have already called me worthy, and your voice is enough. I imagine myself standing in a field, dust clinging to the hem of my spirit, and I see you patient, kind, steady, reaching out your hand, not to force me, but to invite me, to remind me that I do not have to live with the dirt yesterday on my shoulders, that it is okay to rise, that it is okay to begin again. And so I brush off the sorrow. I shake off the silence. I lift my head not in pride, but in permission. You have given me the right to stand. Let this rising be an act of faith. Let it be worship. Let it be resistance against every voice that said, I would always stay down. Let it be a declaration that you are not finished, and neither am I. Let it be a holy revolt against stagnation. Let it be the quiet courage to live like I am loved, to move like I am called, to speak like I am chosen. Father, thank you for not leaving me in the dust. Thank you for whispering life into the very places I tried to forget. Thank you for seeing me not by what clings to me, but by what you placed inside me. I am not the pain I endured. I am not the failure I feared. I am not the label someone else gave me. I am yours. I am being made new. And today, I take that truth with me as I rise, shake off the dust, and step forward. If the enemy tries to remind me of what I used to be, remind me louder of what I am becoming. If old wounds try to whisper shame, drown them with your voice that says, "You are forgiven, you are free." If fear tries to hold my ankles, let your spirit lift my gaze. I am not alone in this rising. I am not without help. I am not without strength. You are with me, and that is more than enough. So I walk forward, barefoot and brave, not because the journey is easy, but because the dust no longer defines me. I walk toward light, toward purpose, toward wholeness. The past may call after me, but I do not answer. The chains may rattle, but they are broken. The shadows may linger, but they cannot hold me. I am shaking off the dust, and in its place, I wear grace. Father, as I rise from the dust and begin walking forward, I feel the weight I still carry shift in a different way now. It is not the weight of failure or fear, it is the weight of what I have held in my heart too tightly for too long. Not wounds that were done to me, but wounds I kept feeding with anger, resentment, and silence. And I know if I truly want to walk in freedom, if I truly want to live as someone who is no longer bound by what was, then I cannot ignore this next step. I must let go of what I have carried against others, and I must receive what I so often struggle to believe for myself. Forgiveness. Lord, this is not easy, not because I do not want peace, because forgiveness feels like laying down a sword I have used to protect myself. Feels like surrendering control, like opening the door and letting something sacred touch the most painful memories I have tried to seal shut. But I know deep down that to live in the fullness of your light, I cannot keep harboring darkness. To step into healing, I must stop drinking from the well of bitterness. To walk freely, I must loosen my grip on the things that once seemed to give me strength, but have only made me more tired. So, God, I bring before you every name, every face, every moment I have buried under layers of unspoken offense. Some were large, some small, some shattered me in a moment. Others chipped away at me over time. And some, I am ashamed to say, I kept holding on to as proof that I was right and they were wrong. But today, I choose something higher, not because they asked, not because they changed, but because I cannot walk forward while still looking back. I forgive those who left without explanation, those who used words like weapons, and those who offered silence when I needed compassion. I forgive the broken promises, the unexpected betrayals, the moments when trust was crushed and never repaired. I forgive the people who wounded me and never looked back. And even more difficult, I forgive those who stayed but hurt me in quiet ways that still echo inside me. This forgiveness is not forgetting. It is not saying what happened was okay. It is not pretending I was not impacted. It is simply releasing my right to hold them in the prison of my mind. It is choosing not to let my past define my present. It is allowing you to be the just and faithful one who sees all things and heals all things in your time. I am not strong enough to do this alone, but with you, I can let go. I can be free. And Lord, while I am standing here with open hands, I ask for something just as hard, maybe even harder. Help me receive the forgiveness you have already given me, not just in theory, not just as doctrine, but in the depths of who I am. There are places in my soul that still echo with shame, still whisper that I am not worthy, still believe I have gone too far, failed too often, stayed stuck too long. But your mercy speaks louder. You say I am clean. You say I am loved. You say I am not condemned. And yet I have often treated myself like an enemy, repeating old labels and punishing myself for what you already paid for. I have forgiven others while refusing to forgive myself. I have offered grace to everyone but the one who looks back at me in the mirror. So this morning, I choose to let your truth break through that cycle. I forgive myself for the times I stayed silent when I should have spoken, for the moments I settled for less because I did not believe I deserved more, for the choices I made out of fear instead of faith. I forgive myself for the wasted time, the words I can take back, the seasons I spent trying to earn what was always freely given. I forgive myself for not knowing better, for not being stronger, for falling again when I swore I would not. And I receive what you have already given, grace, complete and unearned. God, let this forgiveness become a river that washes through every layer of my being. Let it cleanse the bitterness I did not even know was there. Let it soften the places I have kept guarded and cynical. Let it refresh the parts of me that forgot how to trust. Let it teach me how to love again, not just others, but myself, not with pride or pretense, but with the gentle, humble love that comes from knowing I am already accepted by you. Help me see people differently now, not through the lens of what they have done, but through the lens of how you see them. Give me the courage to speak peace, even when I feel justified in my silence. Give me wisdom to set boundaries when needed, but never build walls that harden my heart. Let me walk through today with a spirit unburdened by grudges and untouched by offense. Let my words bring healing instead of hurt, restoration instead of retaliation. This is the kind of freedom I want. Father, not just freedom from circumstances, but freedom from within. Freedom to breathe without resentment tightening my chest. Freedom to look someone in the eyes and not carry the heaviness of unspoken pain. Freedom to be known, to be healed, to be whole. You made this possible. You went before me. You forgave me while I was still broken, still running, still undeserving. And now you ask me to extend the same grace, not because it is easy, but because it is divine. So I walk lighter now, not because the past has vanished, but because it no longer chains me. I walk freer now, not because everything is resolved, but because my heart is not holding score. I walk stronger now, not in pride, but in peace. And if the memories return, if the pain revisits, if the bitterness tries to rise again, I will come back to this moment. I will speak forgiveness again. I will remind my soul that it is not bound to bitterness. It is anchored in grace. Thank you, Lord, for giving me the strength to choose mercy over vengeance, release over revenge, healing over harm. Thank you for not only forgiving me once, but for continually meeting me with kindness when I falter. Teach me to live this way not just today, but always. Let this forgiveness be the soil where joy grows again. Let it be the foundation of new beginnings. Let it be the quiet strength that carries me forward with open hands and a whole heart. Father, now that my heart has tasted the weightlessness of true forgiveness given and received something else begins to stir within me. It feels like strength, not loud or overwhelming, but steady, grounded, sure, like the earth beneath my feet becoming solid again. There is a different sound in my spirit this morning, a voice rising, no longer just whispering for help, but beginning to declare truth with boldness. A name rising above the noise, above the wounds, above the past. Your name, God. There is power in your name that I have forgotten how to use, not because I did not believe in it, but because somewhere in the weariness of my battles, I let the sound of defeat speak louder than your authority. I let my circumstances become giants and my prayers become timid. But now, as the dust clears and grace flows through me like a river, I am reminded that I have not been left powerless. I have not been called to whisper in fear, but to speak in faith. And not just any words, but the name that carries all authority in heaven and earth, the name of Jesus. Jesus, your name is not just a comfort, it is a weapon. It is not just a balm for wounds. It is a fire that burns through chains. When I speak your name, darkness trembles. When I call on you, strongholds crack. You are not far off, not distant, not passive. You are present, powerful, and personal. You are the King who walks into my prison and unlocks the door with nothing but a word. And this morning, I choose to speak that word boldly, not in ritual, but in revelation. I speak the name of Jesus over every lingering fear that tries to return after forgiveness. I speak your name over every place in me that still remembers the sting of betrayal or the echo of shame. I speak your name over my home, my thoughts, my day, my future. I speak your name over the lies that try to convince me I am still bound, still broken, still defeated. I speak your name over patterns that have followed my family for generations. I speak it not in desperation, but in dominion. There is no chain too thick that your name cannot shatter. No memory too deep that your presence cannot reach. No voice of the enemy so loud that your truth cannot silence. So I say it again and again, not because you need to hear it, but because I do. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Let that name echo in the hollow places. Let it fill every room I enter today. Let it cover my conversations, shape my decisions, guard my heart. You are not just my Savior, you are my authority. And that means I do not have to bow to fear or worry. I do not have to let anxiety dictate my direction or let old insecurities narrate my story. I have been given access to the highest name, and with it, the power to push back everything that does not align with heaven. I am not helpless here. I am not voiceless. I have been armed with truth, and that truth has a name. Lord. I do not want to walk through today passive or timid. I want to walk covered in truth, covered in power, covered in the name that never loses its strength. Let my first response in difficulty not be panic, but proclamation. Let me remember that when I speak your name, I am not just calling out, I am calling forth peace, wisdom, clarity, protection, healing. When I speak Jesus, I am not just reminding myself of who you are, I am reminding the atmosphere around me of who I belong to. Let your name rise louder than the voices that haunt me. Let it rise louder than the inner critic that tells me I will never change. Let it rise louder than the noise of culture, confusion, and chaos. Let your name be my anthem today, my battle cry, my resting place. There is no place where it cannot go, no wound it cannot touch, no wall it cannot break. Let the sound of it carry into every shadow. Announcing light, let the force of it shake every foundation not built on you. Let the truth of it remind me that I am not fighting for victory, I am standing in victory. And when I am tempted to go silent again, when fear tries to mute my voice or shame tells me I am not worthy to speak, remind me of the blood behind this name. Remind me that this is not about my perfection, but your promise. Remind me that when I say Jesus, all of heaven listens, and all of hell retreats. I am not speaking into the wind, I am speaking into eternity. I am declaring alignment, setting order, inviting heaven to invade earth. God, I thank you for the name that carries every answer I will ever need. When I am unsure, I will say Jesus. When I am overwhelmed, I will say Jesus. When I am uncertain what to pray, I will start there with the name that breaks yokes, the name that restores hope, the name that turns graves into gardens. I do not need the perfect words. I need the right focus. And this morning, my eyes are fixed on you. Let this be the sound that defines my day, not my worry, not my weakness, not my wondering. Just Jesus. Let every moment be covered in that name. Let every fear be silenced by that name. Let every lie be drowned in the truth of that name. And as I speak it, let courage rise. Let faith return. Let joy awaken. Let healing begin. I will not forget what I have been given. I will not act as though I am powerless. I have been given the name that is above every other name, and I will use it not as a ritual, but as a lifeline, not as a last resort, but as a first response. This is the ground I stand on. This is the fire in my bones. This is the anthem of my soul, Jesus. So I go forward today not with a whisper of hope, but with a declaration of power. The same power that raised you from the grave now lives in me. And I will not shrink back. I will not retreat. I will speak the name that makes demons flee and angels move. I will walk with my head held high, my spirit anchored, my voice clear, not because of who I am, but because of who you are. And I will not be silent. Not today. Not ever. Father, now that my lips have learned to speak the name that shatters strongholds, and my spirit stands clothed in the authority of Jesus, I feel a different kind of preparation rising in me. Not just emotional strength or spiritual awakening, but readiness, sacred readiness. Like a soldier who knows that peace is not always passive. That light must sometimes stand guard at the gates of a new day. And as I move forward from the name that breaks chains, I know I must not walk exposed. I must be dressed for what may come. I must be covered in what you have already provided. I need your armor, Lord. I do not want to live vulnerable to unseen battles. I do not want to walk through the hours ahead unaware of how easily distraction, discouragement, or temptation could slip in and settle. You have not called me to wander naked through spiritual war. You have given me armor not for decoration, but for defense, not for ceremony, but for survival. So before I take another step, I ask you to clothe me with what is eternal, proven, and powerful. Let me wear what you have offered with reverence and boldness. I fasten around my waist the belt of truth, not just facts, but unshakable reality as you define it. Let it hold me together when emotions shift and stories swirl around me that are not aligned with your voice. Let truth be the framework of my decisions and the foundation beneath my thoughts. I will not be tossed by every wind of opinion or circumstance. I will stand on what does not change your word, your promise, your nature. I take up the breastplate of righteousness, not my own. Not earned, not stitched together by effort or appearance, but given by grace. Cover my heart, Lord. Guard it from the lies that say I am unworthy, from the wounds that would reopen if left unprotected. Let me live not trying to prove I am good, but resting in the truth that I am made right through you. Let this righteousness be a shield against every arrow aimed at my identity. I place on my feet the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace. Let me not stumble into this day, but step with purpose. Let my movement bring calm, not chaos. Let my presence carry an atmosphere of grace, even in tension, even in confrontation. Give me words that build, not break. Give me the courage to stand and the humility to kneel. Wherever my path leads today, let peace go before me like a whisper that shifts the very ground I walk on. I raise the shield of faith, not as a fragile hope, but as a firm barrier. Let it extinguish the fiery darts that come silently, thoughts that tell me I am failing, fears that try to wrap around my decisions, doubts that sneak in when I am tired. Let my faith be active, not passive. Let it move. Let it absorb what would otherwise wound me. Let it hold firm when I can't yet see the outcome, trusting not in the absence of trouble, but in the presence of you. I place upon my head the helmet of salvation. Protect my mind, God. Cover the battlefield of my thoughts. Let what I know of you rise above what I feel about me. Let the reminder of what you have done for me anchor me in moments when anxiety tries to flood in. Let this helmet guard against forgetfulness and fear, bringing me back to the simple, powerful truth that I am saved not by my doing, but by your mercy, and in my hands, I grip the sword of the Spirit, which is your word, not a passive ornament, but a living, breathing weapon. Let me not just carry it, let me wield it. Let me speak it when silence is dangerous. Let me declare it when lies try to speak first. Let me whisper it when my strength is gone. Let your word live on my lips and in my bones. Let it cut through confusion. Let it fight battles I cannot see. Let it be the voice that reminds me who I am, what is true, and what will never be taken from me. God, I know the battle is not always visible. It does not always look like war. Sometimes it is a comment that sinks deeper than it should. A delay that makes me question if you are listening. A thought that does not feel dangerous until it becomes a belief. So I do not ask you to remove the battle, I ask you to prepare me for it. Let me not flinch. Let me not fold. Let me be dressed in what you have already called mine. Remind me that this armor is not heavy. It is not burdensome. It is not something I must earn or keep spotless by my own effort. It is a gift, a covering, promise that I do not face anything today alone or defenseless. And when I feel weak, when I want to run, when I am unsure if I am really strong enough to keep fighting, remind me to stand. Just stand, not with clenched fists, but with steady posture, not in panic, but in trust. Cover me fully, Lord, not just so I can endure, but so I can advance, so I can speak life, so I can walk in purpose, so I can reach for others without being consumed by the pull of their pain. Let this armor become part of me, not just something I wear in crisis, but something I carry every day, quietly, faithfully. Let it shape the way I think, move, and respond. Let it be my reminder that I belong to you. And as I step into this day, I do so not in my own strength, not in my own image, but dressed in divine preparation. No weapon formed against me will prosper, not because I am untouched, but because I am covered. No lie will find a home in me, not because they do not come, but because I know what is true. No fear will paralyze me, not because I never feel it, but because I walk forward anyway, clothed in what cannot be taken. Thank you for this armor. Thank you for not leaving me vulnerable. Thank you for arming me not with revenge, but with righteousness, not with fear, but with faith, not with noise, but with peace. And though the battles may come in whispers or in waves, I know now that I am ready, not because I feel fearless, but because I am fully covered, and in that covering, I will walk forward steady, guarded, grounded, and prepared. Lord, now that I am clothed in the armor you have provided, secure, steady, and prepared, there is a rising in me that I can no longer contain. Something in my spirit has shifted. I am no longer whispering my needs with hesitation, but lifting my voice with holy boldness. I am no longer hoping quietly in the shadows, but stepping forward with the confidence of a child who knows their father listens. So I lift my eyes now and I speak, not just to ease my heart, but to shape the day ahead. Let the heavens hear. Father, let what I say this morning not be soft echoes that fade into the wind, but declarations that reverberate through the atmosphere. Let every word that leaves my lips carry weight, not because of my voice, but because of your authority resting on it. I do not pray as one unsure if you will respond. I pray as one who knows you are already near. Leaning close, listening with love and ready to move. This is not ceremony. This is warfare. This is not tradition. This is alignment. I am not begging the air. I am releasing truth into it. Let every spirit of heaviness flee at the sound of my voice today. Let confusion scatter. Let anxiety unravel. Let fear lose its grip. I speak into the atmosphere and call things into order, divine order. I speak over my mind and declare peace where there has been unrest. I speak over my body and declare strength where there has been weakness. I speak over my environment and declare calm where there has been chaos. This is not self-help. This is spiritual authority. This is the sound of a soul that knows who it belongs to. I declare that this day will not own me, I will own it. I will not stumble into it uncertain and unguarded. I walk into this day with intention, with clarity, with direction set by the Spirit, not by circumstance. I declare that this is the day you have made, and I will rejoice in it not because everything is perfect, but because you are present in it. I declare that no plan formed in darkness will succeed against the light that surrounds me, that every scheme meant to distract, discourage, or detour will be exposed and dismantled before it ever takes shape. God, I speak over my family near and far. Let the heavens hear my cry for their protection, their growth, their peace. I call sons and daughters into purpose. I call marriages into unity. I call weary parents into rest. I declare breakthrough over those who feel bound, and clarity over those standing at crossroads. Let this not be passive hope, but prophetic decree. Let angels be dispatched by the words I speak. Let chains break at the sound of this faith. Let doors swing open, not by force, but by alignment with heaven's rhythm. I speak over my work, my responsibilities, and my influence. Let the fruit of my labor multiply, not through stress, but through wisdom. Let everything my hands touch today be blessed. Let the words I speak build and not break. Let my actions reflect honor. Let my attitude reflect grace. Let my decisions reflect discernment. I declare that I will walk with excellence, not to perform, but to reflect the one who sent me. I speak over the battles I cannot see, the assignments launched in silence, the traps set behind smiles, the invisible wars waged in spiritual places. I declare they will not prosper. I declare that what was meant to harm will be turned for good. I declare that I walk with hosts of angels encamped around me, that no weapon formed against me will complete its course. I declare that I am not alone, not uncovered, and not unarmed. I am surrounded. I am defended. I am protected by the one who never sleeps nor slumbers. Let the heavens hear my cry for those who cannot speak for themselves, for the broken, the abused, the forgotten, the silenced. Let my voice rise not only for me, but for the ones still too afraid to lift their own. Let my prayers be a bridge. Let my intercession be a shield. I declare that mercy is on the move, that justice is not far behind, that hope is knocking on doors where despair thought it had settled. Let the heavens hear my agreement with the groans of the earth. Redemption come. And Father, let this not just be words spoken in private, but power carried in public. Let the same strength I feel now carry into how I speak to strangers, how I respond to conflict, how I love those who are hard to love. Let this declaration become demonstration. Let what I speak here be seen out there. Let my life echo what my mouth has released. I know you are not deaf to desperation. I know heaven leans low when faith rises high. So I lift this prayer not with hesitation, but with fire. Let my voice move the unseen. Let my words touch what hands cannot. Let these declarations become foundations beneath my feet. I do not speak to wish, I speak to create. I do not speak to vent, I speak to build. I do not speak to escape, I speak to establish. Let the heavens hear me when I say I trust you, even in what I do not understand. Let the heavens hear me when I say I believe you, even when I cannot yet see. Let the heavens hear me when I say I will not quit. I will not bow to fear. I will not be ruled by what I feel. I will be ruled by what is written. I will stand on what you have promised. Speak what you have spoken, and believe in what you have already begun. This is not just a prayer. This is a sound of alignment. This is the agreement between earth and heaven, between my mouth and your will, between what is and what will be. So let the heavens hear, not only because I speak, but because I believe that the heavens respond not to volume, but to surrender, not to perfection, but to faith. Let every word that leaves my lips today carry the weight of glory, the strength of truth, and the pulse of heaven's heartbeat. Father, as my voice rises with authority and my words find their way into the atmosphere, I recognize that the power to declare is also the power to dismantle. You have not just given me the right to speak life, but also the responsibility to silence death. And so, flowing from the declarations I have made and the truths I have aligned myself with, I now take my place in spiritual resistance. I stand not only to proclaim what is holy, but to cancel what is hostile. Let every assignment of the enemy be nullified under the weight of your presence. God, I know the enemy does not wait for obvious moments. He operates subtly, strategically, quietly. He schemes in shadows. He plants seeds in silence. He stirs confusion where there once was peace, and whispers doubt in places where faith used to sing. But I am not unaware of his devices, and I refuse to walk into this day without first addressing every plan set in motion to distract, divide, delay, or destroy. I speak now with full awareness of who I am in you, and by the authority of that identity, I cancel every demonic strategy assigned to this day. I cancel the assignment of discouragement, the spirit that comes to weigh me down, to magnify my struggles, to minimize my progress, and to cloud my perspective. It will not find room in my thoughts today. I declare that every voice of despair is silenced by the truth of hope. Every lie that says I am going backward is broken by the evidence of your grace moving me forward. I cancel the assignment of confusion, every plot designed to disrupt my clarity, twist my convictions, or make me question what you have already confirmed. Let there be no foothold for instability today. Let my mind be sound, my choices aligned, and my steps established. Let wisdom rise and chaos fall. Let the fog lift. Let distractions lose their grip. I declare that my ears are attuned to your voice, not the noise of deception. I cancel the assignment of fear, the paralyzing force that tries to stop progress before it even begins. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of lack, fear of the unknown. I lay them all at your feet. They have no permission to lead me. They do not get to dictate my pace. I declare that I will move boldly, speak truthfully, and act with courage, not because fear has disappeared, but because it has lost its power to control me. I cancel the assignment of offense, every setup meant to trap me in resentment, steal my joy, or divide my heart from others. I will not be baited into bitterness. I will not carry the poison of assumptions. I choose grace before grievance. I choose unity over pride. I release anything that seeks to root itself in my spirit and bear fruit that does not reflect you. I cancel the assignment of spiritual fatigue, every heaviness sent to wear me down, slow my worship, and weaken my resolve. I declare that I will not grow weary in doing good. I speak supernatural energy over my body, my mind, and my spirit. I declare that I am refreshed in your presence and refueled by your spirit. What was meant to exhaust me will instead become the place where your strength is revealed in fullness. I cancel the assignment of delay, every plan of the enemy to detour what you have already released. Every hindrance, every blockage, every almost that was designed to keep me from walking in completion. I speak acceleration in alignment with your will. I declare open doors, cleared paths, divine timing. Nothing sent to stall me will succeed. No barrier will stand untouched by your hand. I cancel the assignment of shame, every reminder of who I used to be, every accusation wrapped in false guilt, every attempt to pull me back into places you have already delivered me from. I declare that shame has no voice in my life today. I am not what I have done. I am not who others say I am. I am who you declare me to be, redeemed, restored, and completely covered by mercy. God, if there is any agreement I have unknowingly made with darkness, reveal it and break it. If there are doors I left open out of fear or ignorance, show me and help me close them. I do not want to just be protected. I want to be purified, not just defended, but delivered, not just shielded, but completely surrendered. Let every foothold of the enemy be broken by the weight of my submission to you. I declare that no generational curse, no familiar pattern, no old addiction, no secret shame will cling to me or follow me into this new day. I am covered in the blood of Jesus. I am surrounded by angels on assignment. I am walking under the favor of the Most High. What tried to return will be turned away. What tried to rise against me will fall before me. What tried to confuse me will be silenced by the wisdom that flows from your Spirit. Lord, I do not just pray this for myself. I speak it over my household, over my workplace, over my friends, over my community. Let the ripple of this prayer extend far beyond my own life. Let it touch everything I am connected to. Let every demonic agenda sent to divide homes, disturb peace, or derail purpose be canceled right now by the authority of Jesus. Let every shadow be exposed. Let every lie be confronted. Let every threat be rendered powerless. Let this be the day that hell's strategies fail before they begin. Let this be the moment where every demonic scheme is intercepted by heavenly intervention. Let this be the hour where the enemy realizes he has no access, no authority, and no legal right to interfere with what you are building in me. I draw a line in the spirit. I raise a standard in your name, and I stand in the gap declaring that this ground is holy. This territory is covered. This vessel is filled with your glory. Thank you for giving me the authority not only to resist, but to dismantle, to cancel, to destroy every yoke that does not come from you. I am not a victim of darkness. I am a vessel of light. I am not a prisoner to fear. I am a carrier of peace. I am not under attack, I am under assignment. And no weapon formed will prosper, not because of who I am, but because of whose I am. So I speak boldly today. I pray with eyes wide open. I listen not only for comfort, but for strategy. And I walk not just as one who believes, as one who knows the enemy is already defeated. Let every unseen war be met with your power. Let every whisper of the adversary be drowned out by your word. And let this day move forward fully guarded, fully declared, and fully covered in your victory. Father, as I stand in the boldness of having canceled every plan formed in darkness, I feel the weight of responsibility shift from defense to covering. My spirit is no longer just fighting for survival. It is beginning to intercede for what I hold most dear. And as I look ahead into this day, into the people and spaces I will move through, I bring to you the place closest to my heart, my home. Lord, cover my home in your glory. Let it not merely be a shelter of walls and windows, but a dwelling filled with your presence. Let it be a sanctuary of peace, a refuge where rest is sacred, and a stronghold where love is not just spoken, but lived. Let every room, every corner, every unseen space be marked by your spirit. Let your glory dwell not as a visitor, but as a permanent presence. God, you see what I cannot. You see the tensions that rise in quiet moments, the words left unsaid that build silent walls, the exhaustion that wears down patience, the burdens that each person carries, even when they smile. So I ask you now to step into every room, not just as comfort, but as authority. Let your glory confront what needs to change and breathe life where connection has faded. Let laughter return to the halls. Let kindness reign at the table. Let the atmosphere shift, not by effort, but by encounter. I lift up every person who calls this house home. Cover their minds with clarity, their hearts with compassion, their bodies with strength, and their spirits with peace. Let arguments turn into understanding. Let tension soften into grace. Let defensiveness dissolve in humility. If forgiveness needs to flow, let it come like water. If words need to be spoken, let them be drenched in gentleness. Let your spirit dwell not only in our prayers, but in our conversations, in our glances, in the way we serve one another in ordinary moments. For those who sleep under this roof, let their rest be holy. Let their dreams be guarded. Let no fear enter in the night. Let no oppression find a doorway. Surround each bed with angels on assignment. Let sleep be restoring, not restless. Let waking be light, not heavy. Let each new morning begin with a fresh awareness that this home is not just protected, it is inhabited by you. I lift up the children, those little hearts growing within these walls, absorbing what is spoken and what is felt. Protect their innocence, God. Guard their minds from confusion, their emotions from chaos, their identities from lies. Let them grow in confidence rooted not in the world's applause, but in heaven's truth. Let this home be their first encounter with unconditional love and unwavering security. Let it be the place where their first prayers are whispered and their first worship rises. I pray over the relationships inside these walls, marriages, partnerships, siblings, and friendships. Let every bond be sealed with honor. Let every disagreement become a doorway to deeper trust. Let no offense take root. Let no bitterness be nurtured. Let joy return where it has gone quiet. Let laughter echo where silence has lingered. Let unity become the foundation that outlasts every storm. And Father, let this home be more than safe, it must be sacred. Let it not only keep trouble out, but invite heaven in. Let this be a house where worship is not a Sunday event, but a daily fragrance, where music of praise replaces noise of distraction, where silence is not empty, but filled with stillness that heals, where reading your word is as normal as breathing. Let this be a home where the next generation sees faith, not just spoken from lips, but lived from hearts. If there are spirits not sent by you trying to linger, let your glory drive them out. Let nothing impure find comfort here. Let no plan of the enemy take root or remain hidden. Let your presence expose what must be broken and redeem what must be restored. This is not a house of confusion or fear or division. This is a house of light, a house of hope, a house marked and claimed by the blood of Jesus. I pray over the doorposts, may they be gateways of blessing. May whoever enters find peace that they cannot explain and rest that they did not expect. May whoever leaves carry something holy with them. Let every meal shared here nourish more than bodies. Let it nourish connection. Let every guest sense that they are not just welcomed, but seen, cherished, and known. Let this home become a lighthouse to others, a place where the hurting are drawn in, where stories are shared, and where healing begins. Let us be stewards of what you have given, not owners who cling to our own comfort. Let generosity overflow from this space. Let our hands be open, our table be wide, our love be tangible. Not because we are perfect, but because we are surrendered. Cover the walls with memories touched by your hand. Fill the air with prayers whispered in secret and answered in time. Let the ceilings echo worship in the quiet hours, and let the floors carry the steps of those growing in faith. Let this home outlive us in its testimony, and let the stories told within it point always, only, back to you. Father, I do not only ask for beauty, I ask for glory. Beauty can be seen, but glory transforms. Let this house shine, not because of decoration, but because of consecration, because your glory has settled here. because you are honored here, because in everything we say and do, you are central. Let our home reflect heaven. Let it reflect mercy. Let it reflect truth. Let it reflect the heart of a God who does not just visit, but dwells. Father, as I sit in the stillness of a home, now wrapped in your glory, my spirit begins to long for something deeper still. Not just peace in this place, but purpose beyond these walls. Not just safety for what is mine, but alignment with something far greater. The ache I feel now is not for comfort, but for consecration. Let your kingdom come not only in the grand, visible ways, but in the ordinary details of my life. Let your reign touch everything I touch today. Let heaven meet earth right here, right now, through me. God, I know your kingdom is not built by force or ruled by fear. It is not distant or unreachable. It is not a concept for someday. It is a presence for today. It moves in power, but also in humility. It changes systems, but also softens hearts. It restores what is broken not only in nations, but in homes, in thoughts, in conversations. And so I invite you now, not just to dwell in me, but to rule through me. Let this day become holy ground, and let my every step build something eternal. Let your kingdom come in how I begin this morning. Before my hands reach for responsibility, let them first reach for grace. Before I fill the calendar, let me ask for your guidance. Before I plan and prepare, let me pause and listen. I do not want to move in haste when you are calling me to move in harmony. I do not want to live by impulse when you are offering instruction. Let your rules shape even my rhythm. Let your voice set the pace of my heart. Let your kingdom come in my work, not just in the results, but in the motives. Let what I do not only succeed by human measure, but reflect your character. Let excellence be my standard, not for applause, but for integrity. Let diligence not be driven by anxiety, but by stewardship. Let me treat each task as sacred. The people I interact with feel honored, not overlooked. Let my reputation not point to achievement, but to the one who gives all purpose. Let your kingdom come in my relationships, not just in how I am treated, but in how I respond. Let patience rise when irritation knocks. Let love stay when offense tries to enter. Let my heart stay open, even when it is tempting to close. Teach me to forgive before I am asked, to serve without being seen, to speak truth without a sharp edge. Let every word be wrapped in mercy and carried by grace. Let my presence disarm, not provoke. Let others see you before they notice me. Let your kingdom come in the quiet moments, the pauses, the in-betweens, the spaces where nothing dramatic happens, but something holy could. When I sit in traffic, when I wait in line, when I fold laundry or send another email, remind me that nothing is wasted when I do it with you. Let me not look for you only in the extraordinary. Let me find you in the repetition. Let my spirit stay tuned to heaven even while my hands do the mundane. Let worship rise from the middle of what feels ordinary. Let your kingdom come in how I handle pressure, when deadlines pile up, when expectations grow heavy. When I feel the weight of being strong for others, teach me to lean, not perform. Let my responses reflect trust, not panic. Let me remember that I am not carrying this day alone. That even when I am leading, I am still being led. That even when others look to me for stability, I look to you for strength. Let your presence be my confidence, not my own control. Let your kingdom come in my thought life. Guard the gates of my mind from the subtle lies that sneak in dressed as logic. Silence the false narratives that try to make me smaller than the purpose you have placed within me. Let gratitude shape my outlook, not fear. Let faith rewrite the stories that shame tried to script. Let hope take the lead. Let truth be louder than memory, louder than assumption, louder than doubt. Let your kingdom come in how I handle resources. Teach me to live open-handed. Let generosity flow not only in moments of abundance, but even in the tension of need. Let me give without fear of losing. Let me share without calculating. Let my money serve mission, not status. Let my time reflect eternity. Let me steward what you have placed in my hands, as if it never belonged to me in the first place. Let your priorities rearrange my comfort zones. Let your kingdom come in every place where I have influence, whether it is a boardroom or a classroom, a dinner table or a text message thread. Let what I speak and how I act reflect that I live under a different authority. Let humility carry my leadership. Let honesty lead my decisions. Let compassion guide my opinions. Let justice be the foundation under every conviction I hold. Not political justice, not cultural trends, but the justice of heaven that sees the invisible and stands with the voiceless. And Father, let your kingdom come not only through me, but also in me. Rule my inner world before I try to fix the outer one. Let nothing in me remain unaligned. If there are areas I have tried to keep for myself, shine light on them. If there are loyalties in my heart that compete with yours, reveal them. Tear down every throne that I have built in your place. Dismantle the small empires I have constructed out of insecurity and ambition. Replace them with what cannot be shaken. Your kingdom is righteousness, peace, and joy in the Holy Spirit. Let me live from that place. Let every decision, every conversation, every thought bend toward that reality. Let the aroma of my life smell like heaven. Let people encounter you not just through sermons or songs, but through the way I carry myself in hallways, through the way I pause and truly listen, through the way I remain calm in storms others cannot see. Let your kingdom come where I least expect it, in broken places, in long seasons of waiting, in ordinary errands and fragile prayers, in conversations that start with tension but end in healing, in places of fear where courage must be born, in those I struggle to love, in those who misunderstand me, in myself again and again and again. Let it come not one day far off, but this day, right now, in every breath and every moment. Let heaven's agenda overwrite my assumptions. Let eternal things shape temporary ones. Let your kingdom come, and let everything in me say, yes, Lord, as the stillness of morning wraps around me, and the world remains hushed for just a few more sacred moments. I come again not to ask for more, but to become more aware of what already is. Just as your kingdom quietly invades each part of my life, I now long to remain rooted in your presence before noise and need come knocking. The sun has not yet reached its highest place in the sky, but I sense your warmth already spilling into my soul, steadying me before I even take a single step forward. God, I do not take lightly the gift of another beginning. Yesterday came with its own weight, and some of it still lingers in my body, in my thoughts, in the way I brace myself unconsciously for what might go wrong. But you are here, reminding me that I am not behind, not burdened, not forgotten. I am positioned exactly where I need to be to encounter grace again. You meet me in the now, not in my perfection, not in my plans, but in this posture of surrender before anything unfolds. Father, I know that what surrounds me does not define me. What threatens to distract or discourage me does not have the final word. It is in returning to this place, this still communion with you, that I regain perspective. The H in my heart is not something to rush past or numb away. It is often the invitation to go deeper, to sit longer, to breathe in the truth that you are not just near, you are in me. You do not simply walk beside me. You uphold me from within. So let my identity be anchored in you today, not in the roles I play, not in the expectations others place upon me, not in the labels the world tries to assign. Let me be unshaken by applause and unbroken by rejection. Let the root system of my worth sink deep into the soil of your unchanging love. I am not defined by productivity, appearance, or performance. I am defined by the one who made me, who sees me now with eyes of mercy and a heart of compassion. Let this truth carry me into the tasks ahead, whatever meetings or conversations or responsibilities await. Let them not overshadow this reality. I belong to you. Let me carry this belonging into places that feel cold or demanding. Let the joy of your nearness insulate me from the chill of indifference I might encounter. Let my attitude be shaped not by how others behave, but by the one who is forming something sacred in me, even in mundane settings. Lord, I ask for clarity, not the kind that gives me full control or perfect foresight, but the kind that helps me discern what matters most. Teach me to see interruptions as invitations. Help me recognize your voice amid competing noise. Train my heart to respond to your whisper, even when the world shouts louder. Let discernment be my compass, not reaction. Let wisdom flow not from panic or pressure, but from time spent in your presence. Let this be a day where small steps carry eternal weight. Let every act of kindness leave a residue of heaven. Let every moment of patience open a door for peace. Let every time I choose to listen before speaking, or forgive before it is deserved, become an act of worship. Show me that worship is not confined to music or church walls, but is as real in silence, service, and sacrifice. Let my life be a song unwritten by lyrics, but composed by love in motion. God, I surrender the need to be impressive. I surrender the anxiety of needing to prove my worth. I let go of the internal narratives that say I am not doing enough, not becoming enough, not moving fast enough. You are not measuring my soul by speed or scale. You are looking for trust. You are searching for a heart that will stay open, even when the way forward is unclear. And today, I choose to trust not blindly, but intentionally, even if that trust looks like a trembling yes. Let me not try to outrun my humanity. Let me rest in the truth that you are not ashamed of my weakness. You do not despise the moments I feel stretched thin or uncertain. You meet me there, right in the awareness, and you do not rush me out of it. You do not demand perfection. You invite proximity, and as I draw near, I find my burdens growing lighter, not because they disappear, but because I stop carrying them alone. Let me remain aware of you in all things. When I sip my coffee, let gratitude rise. When I walk down the street, let wonder awaken. When I cross paths with strangers, let me remember that each face carries a story worth noticing. Let me become a person who pauses more, who lingers longer, who speaks life instead of just filling silence. Let my presence leave people feeling seen, not dismissed, valued, not just heard. Let my faith not be loud in moments of convenience and quiet in moments of challenge. Let it remain steady when tested. Let me walk with integrity when compromise would be easier. Let me choose peace when conflict would give quicker results. Let me speak truth even when it costs. Let me hold joy even when heaviness tries to attach itself. Let me move slowly enough to notice the beauty, but boldly enough to follow where you lead. Lord, teach me to find you not just in the answered prayers, but in the waiting, not just in the victories, but in the valleys. Let my dependence on you not decrease when things go well, and let my hope not diminish when things feel stuck. Whether I see breakthrough or still face obstacles, let my trust not waver. Let my worship not be conditional. Let it be rooted in the knowledge that you are good, always, whether the skies are clear or the storm still lingers. Let me live with an open heart today, not guarded by fear, not hardened by disappointment, not closed off by business. Let me feel deeply, love fully, forgive quickly. Let me carry peace like a mantle, wear humility like a crown, and walk with gentleness that speaks louder than any argument. Let me remember that the strongest impact I can make is not through power, but through presence, the kind that flows from having been with you. And Father, if I begin to drift later in the day, if my attention gets pulled, my energy fades, or my spirit feels scattered, draw me back with kindness. Nudge me with your love. Whisper truth that resets me. Let this time with you not be a fleeting moment, but a foundation I return to again and again. Let this sacred quiet shape the loud parts of my day. Let the peace I carry now become the echo others hear long after they have walked away from me. Let this be more than a morning ritual. Let it be the reality I carry, the lens through which I see, the rhythm I walk by, not by my strength, but by your spirit, not by my plans, but by your hand, not for my glory, but for yours alone. Let every breath I take echo this truth. I have already met with you, and that changes everything. Lord, as I breathe in the quiet assurance that you are near, I realize again how everything changes when I begin the day aware of you. Yesterday's peace does not carry over like a saved file. I have to meet it again, freshly poured into my heart, just as you faithfully pour it. This is not a performance I perfect, but a posture I return to. My soul is learning to stay open, learning not to brace for what could go wrong, to lean into what is already good, because you are good, not just in what you give, but in who you are. My heart slows when I remember that. Father, I have come to understand that surrender is not something I complete. It is something I repeat. I lay down my need to predict every outcome. I release the urge to control the pace or process. I hold out my hands, no longer clenched with striving, but gently open to whatever you choose to allow or withhold. In this place, I feel safe, not because the day is guaranteed to be easy, because you will not abandon me in it. No moment will catch you off guard, and no burden will be too heavy for you to carry with me. God, if today brings the unexpected, help me meet it without panic. If detours come, let me not waste energy resenting them. If I find myself in unfamiliar places, conversations, or decisions, let me lean into the unknown with confidence that you are already there. You walk ahead of me, preparing the ground I cannot see. Even the interruptions have purpose when I walk with you. Even delays hold meaning when filtered through your timing. So help me not rush past divine moments disguised as inconvenience. Let me pay attention. Let me notice the way sunlight lands on a leaf, or the way a stranger's smile carries warmth. Let me hear the deeper meaning behind someone's hurried words. Let me slow down enough to catch what others miss in their speed. Let me be present enough to show kindness where it is least expected. I do not want to live on autopilot. I want to live alert, alive, awake to the story unfolding in every detail. I want to carry that same attentiveness into my relationships. Father, make me patient with others and with myself. There are parts of me still learning how to heal, how to forgive, how to believe again in areas where hope once felt hollow. But you are not hurried, and you never shame me for the time it takes to grow. You do not force transformation. You invite it. You cultivate it gently, in layers, through the steady rhythm of grace. Let me extend that same grace to others, even when I cannot see their progress. Let me believe in their becoming, not just react to their behavior. Let love be my instinct, not the reactive kind, but the intentional kind, the love that listens long, that sees the whole person, not just their flaws or choices. Let it shape how I respond to tension, to criticism, to misunderstanding. Let it ground me when my emotions flare, when my words are ready to defend instead of bless. Love is not weak. It is not passive. It is the most powerful force when it flows from you. And I want to carry that force in ways that bring healing instead of harm. God, remind me that it is okay not to have all the answers. That faith was never about certainty, but about trust. Let me find peace not in solving every mystery, but in staying close to you through it all. I do not need to know where the road ends. I just need to stay in step with the one who walks with me. Even if today holds more questions than answers, let me stay steady in the knowledge that you are writing a story I cannot yet see the full arc of, but it is good because you are. Let me release the weight of comparison. Let me stop measuring my day by what others seem to accomplish. Let me stop dimming my joy because someone else shines brighter in a moment. My path is unique. My pace is designed for me. And the fruit you are growing in my life will bloom in its season. Let me not sabotage it by forcing what is not ready or envying what is not mine. Let me stay faithful to what is in front of me and celebrate what you are doing in others. 2. Let my thoughts be guided by truth. Let them not spiral into worst-case scenarios or echo words that were never from you when doubt tries to disguise itself as logic. Let me not be fooled when fear dresses itself in preparation. Let me discern its voice. You did not give me a spirit of fear, and I will not partner with it. Let truth be louder than insecurity, and let peace interrupt anxiety like a wave silencing a storm. Let me meditate on what is lovely, pure, and noble, not just for positivity, but for alignment with you. Lord, let joy be more than a feeling. Let it be a practice. Let it be found in the ordinary, in the repeated rhythms of the day, in dishes washed, in children's laughter, in quiet drives and casual hellos. Let joy not require fireworks or fanfare. Let it sneak up on me in unexpected moments and surprise me in silence. Let it anchor me in gratitude and disarm my defenses. Let it soften the parts of me that still wait for the next shoe to drop. Let me laugh easily and weep honestly and live with an unguarded heart. If I am met with criticism today, let me pause before reacting. Let me listen not to defend, but to understand. Let me ask if there is something I need to learn, and if not, let me release the offense without letting it fester. If I am praised today, let me receive it with humility and not cling to it for identity. Neither applause nor rejection will define me. Let me stay rooted in the only voice that always speaks truth, the one that calls me beloved no matter what. Lord, if I fall short today, and I might, let me not spiral into shame. Let conviction guide me gently back to you, not guilt that pushes me further away. Let mistakes become places of learning, not labels that stick. Let me apologize when needed, repair where possible, and move forward unburdened by perfectionism. Let mercy be the lens I see myself through, the lens I offer others. Let redemption be the rhythm I walk in, not as a rare grace, but as the expected evidence of your nature in motion. Let my words today be few when silence is wiser. Let them be gentle when wounds are raw. Let them build instead of break. Let me speak with intention, not just to fill space. Let my tone carry more than just content. Let it carry compassion, honesty, and dignity. Let me speak life where fear has ruled. Let me speak truth where lies have lingered. Let me be a voice of peace in spaces torn by conflict. Let me speak in such a way that even those who disagree still feel respected. And when the weight of the world feels like too much, Father, let me find my breath again in you. Let me not internalize what I cannot fix. Let me not carry burdens that were never mine. Let me be faithful in the small part I play without being paralyzed by the vastness of what I cannot control. Let me show up where I am called and rest where I am not. Let me trust that you are doing more behind the scenes than I will ever see. So, as I step forward, one moment at a time, let me carry this quiet strength with me, not because of who I am, but because of whose I am. Let that identity be enough. Let it overflow in how I love, how I wait, how I lead, and how I serve. Let it shape the way I respond to interruptions, to disappointment, to beauty, and to pain. And let me return again and again to this place, this stillness with you, where nothing is lacking, and everything is held together by hands that never let go. Father, in the quiet hum of this morning's stillness, I find myself returning again to the soft rhythm of your grace, just as the previous thoughts whispered truth into the cracks of my doubt. I now continue this walk with you, step by gentle step. Each breath I take reminds me that your spirit is near, wrapping itself not only around my circumstance, but also within the very spaces I struggle to understand. You are patient in my process, never forcing growth, but inviting it through subtle nudges and silent strength. I open my heart again, not to be strong, but to be steady, not to be right, but to be real, not to be impressive, but to be present. As my soul leans into this moment, I sense that the silence between us is not empty, but sacred, filled with unseen movement and unspoken healing. The worry that once clung to me begins to dissolve, not because answers have come, but because your presence outweighs the questions. You speak in the language of peace, one I so often forget to hear. And in the pauses between thoughts, you build in me a faith that is not loud but lasting. You take my weariness not as failure, but as an offering. You receive my confusion not as rebellion, but as a cry for clarity. In this safe place with you, I do not need to perform. I do not need to impress. I simply need to breathe and trust that with each exhale, you are making more room inside me for wisdom, calm, and renewal. I surrender not out of defeat, but because surrender is where love lives. And I want to live there too. This day stretches before me like an unwritten song, and you are the quiet composer humming possibilities over the silence. Help me move through today not with haste, but with intention. Let my words be few but full, and may my actions reflect the quiet strength that comes from resting in your goodness. Teach me to honor time by being fully present in it. And when distractions pull, let your whisper pull stronger. What I carry today is not too much for you. What I feel is not too messy for you. What I fear is not too hidden for you. I come honestly, even if imperfectly, because I know that you meet me not at the finish line, but every faltering step. You make holy even the broken rhythm of my trying. I release the need to know everything and reach instead for the one thing I do know. You are with me. That is enough, whether in still waters or stormy waves. Your nearness steadies me. Your love sustains me. And even when I cannot see the shore, I trust the one who sails with me through the mist. So I let this morning be simple. I let this prayer be real. And I let your peace anchor me deeper than fear ever could. Lord, as I linger in the hush that follows the surrender of yesterday's weight, I sense a gentle continuity, as if you are threading the stillness of my soul with a quiet courage only you can give. There is something sacred in this rhythm of returning, this daily trust that you are never tired of hearing the voice of my heart, even when my words are few. The stillness that steadied me before has not left. It has simply shifted, making space for fresh awareness to rise like the sun over an awakening landscape. In this new morning light, I realize that the peace you offer is not the absence of pressure, but the presence of purpose. The world has not changed overnight, but something within me has begun to realign. The noise may wait outside these walls, but here, in the chamber of your presence, I am reminded that I do not have to be anyone else, but who I am in you. My inadequacies, my uncertainties, even my unfinished prayers, all of it is welcome in this sacred exchange between Creator and creation. God, I marvel at how you draw near without rushing me. You do not push. You do not prod. You invite. And in your invitation, I find that healing does not have to be dramatic. It can come in the form of remembering that I am loved. Right now, not when I accomplish more, not when I prove myself, but here, in this quiet breath, I am seen, known, and held. The dawn stretches across the sky like a banner of new mercies, and with it comes the awareness that I am not alone in my becoming. You walk with me, even when I stumble. You whisper when I am too tired to pray. You remain when everything else shifts. And that knowing, that unwavering presence, does something inside me that striving never could. It quiets the inner critic. It silences the fear of not being enough. It clears space for joy to emerge, soft and steady. Father, today I ask for the strength to be soft in a world that demands hardness. Help me hold on to tenderness without losing my resilience. Let my gentleness be power under control, and may my silence be filled with the weight of wisdom. Teach me to listen deeply, not just to words, but to hearts. Show me how to serve without needing to be seen, how to love without requiring repayment, and how to forgive even when the apology never arrives. Let my life echo what your Spirit is doing inside me. Let the patience I show others reflect the patience you show me every single morning. I may not have all the answers, but I can offer presence. I may not solve every problem, but I can bring peace. I may not change the world today, but I can let you change me, moment by moment, where anxiety lingers. So calm, where disappointment weighs heavy. Breathe hope, where regret tries to root itself. Plant grace. You are the gardener of my soul, Lord, and I trust you to cultivate what I cannot yet see. Even the barren places in me are not beyond your touch. You make deserts bloom. You turn mourning into dancing. And even when I do not feel movement, you are still working in the unseen. I choose to walk into this day with my heart open, even if it feels vulnerable. I choose to see interruptions as invitations. I choose to lay down the burden of control and pick up the gift of presence. And if I falter, if I forget, draw me back with kindness, not shame. Let your mercy be my map and your truth my compass. Let your love be the light that leads me. Carry your peace now, not like a shield to hide behind, but like a lantern to share. May it light the way not just for me, but for those who are searching too. Lord, as the hush of dawn softens into gentle morning light, I continue from where my heart last left off, still echoing with the quiet assurance that your nearness brings. The stillness that held me in the early hours has not faded. It lingers like the breath of heaven, urging me to trust more deeply and to walk with greater courage into the unknown parts of this day. I bring before you every fragile thread of my humanity and lay it within the weave of your perfect design. Nothing escapes you. Nothing is beyond your redemptive hand. You see not only the weight I carry, but the thoughts that silently build behind my smile. Father, I long to live today from a place of calm purpose, not driven by the noise around me, but anchored in your unshakable presence. Teach me how to pause, how to listen for your direction when the world demands hurried answers. Let the decisions I make today flow not from fear or impulse, but from a space where I have heard your whisper and surrendered my own. Even in moments when I may be overlooked, let me not seek attention, but significance in serving with grace. Let my kindness not be transactional, but unconditional, flowing from the wellspring of how deeply I am known by you. Help me speak life when it would be easier to remain silent or to echo bitterness. Let my silence carry wisdom and my words carry healing. Wherever I go today, may I leave a trace of gentleness, as if the echo of your peace lingers long after my steps have passed. And if I encounter tension, Lord, remind me to breathe before I respond. Remind me that my response can be a doorway to healing or a wall of division. Fill me with the humility to apologize when I fail, and the strength to forgive even when I am still hurting. When I meet someone difficult, open my eyes to their silent struggles and help me carry compassion before judgment. Let my hands not only work, but bless. Let my eyes not only see, but understand. Let my feet not only move, but bring hope to places that feel forgotten. There may be tasks ahead that feel mundane, Father, but I trust that even in the ordinary, you are extraordinary. Let me perform each duty with joy, not because it is thrilling, but because it is an offering. Help me to resist measuring this day by accomplishments or failures, and instead by the faithfulness with which I walked through each hour. Make me faithful in little, that I may grow trustworthy with more. Lord, I know there will be moments when I feel stretched beyond my comfort. In those moments, be my courage. Be my still point when the world spins too fast. Help me hold on to what matters and release what does not. Don't let worry dictate my rhythm or exhaustion define my worth. Let me guard my inner life with diligence, choosing what enters my mind, what dwells in my heart, and what escapes through my words. And Father, may I not lose sight of gratitude. When blessings are obvious, let me rejoice openly. When blessings are hidden, let me search patiently. I want to see your fingerprints not only on miracles, but on the moments I used to overlook. Let the beauty of sunlight filtering through leaves, or the comfort of a familiar voice, bring me back to center. Remind me that no moment is wasted when it is seen through the eyes of wonder. As I go about today, draw my attention to the one who feels invisible. Let me not be too focused on my own direction, that I miss the chance to be a lighthouse to someone adrift. Whether in a quiet conversation or a shared silence, let me hold space for others the way you always hold space for me. If there is someone today who needs encouragement, place their name gently on my heart and show me how to reach out. Let every interruption be seen as an invitation. Let every delay become a detour toward something divine. Let every discomfort become a growth point where you stretch my patience, expand my understanding, and deepen my empathy. I do not ask for a perfect day, but a meaningful one where I am present, not only physically, but emotionally, mentally, and spiritually fully awake to what you are doing around me. God, Give me discernment to recognize the moments that matter, even if they come clothed in simplicity. Teach me to read between the lines of someone's tone, to feel the weight in someone's pause. Let me listen not only to what is said, but to what is left unspoken in these sacred spaces. Give me the courage to be a vessel of your love, to step gently into wounds I cannot see, and to offer peace where there has been none. If today brings unexpected change, remind me that nothing takes you by surprise. If I am asked to let go of something I thought I needed, help me do so with open hands and a trusting heart. If something I planned is replaced by something I never saw coming, give me the grace to say yes. You are already in my tomorrow, preparing the ground where my next step will land. Let that truth be my confidence when clarity seems absent. And Lord, when the day grows long and my energy wears thin, be my resting place, not just physically, but emotionally when I feel emptied by giving or drained by expectations. Let me return to you throughout the day, in tiny moments of silence, in whispered thoughts that do not need formality to reach you. Be the companion in my solitude, the anchor in my chaos, the light that never dims in my tunnel of doubt. In the rhythm of this day, let there be music in my laughter, music in my steps, music in the unseen harmony between heaven and earth that plays when I am in tune with your spirit. Let my life be an instrument, played not for applause, but for the quiet joy of reflecting you in every note I live out. Not every day will be triumphant, but every day can be sacred when lived in surrender. So I continue forward, not knowing everything that awaits me, but knowing who goes with me. And that alone is enough to rise with purpose, walk with peace, and finish today with a heart still soft, still grateful, still looking up, God, as I continue walking through the quiet stream of this morning as stillness. My heart remains anchored in the peace that only you can give. The softness of surrender still lingers from the moments before, and I sense you drawing me deeper beyond routine, beyond expectation, into the gentle unfolding of grace that this day holds. I do not rush what you are doing in me. Instead, I lean in, tender to your voice, willing to be molded again by hands that never grow weary of shaping me. Father, I bring you this day as a living canvas. I ask you to paint on it whatever you will, knowing that even the brushstrokes that feel hard, slow, are part of the masterpiece you are forming in my life. I let go of my own plans, not in defeat but in trust. For your thoughts are higher, and your timing is wiser. You see beyond the horizon I often fear, and you lead me gently where I would not dare go alone. So even when I crave certainty, let me choose surrender instead. Let this be the kind of day where I notice the little things, where I do not walk past beauty unnoticed, or brush by someone's silent plea for kindness. Let me be slow enough to care, present enough to notice, and humble enough to receive. Give me the eyes to see people not as interruptions, but as invitations, divine appointments, wrapped in the fabric of everyday life. And when I feel too tired to extend myself, let me remember that you never run dry, and what flows through me comes first from you. Lord, when anxiety taps on the door of my peace, let me answer it not with panic, but with prayer. Let me breathe deeply and remember that you have always held me, even when I did not feel held. Teach me to speak to fear with the voice of faith, not because I am fearless, but because I know the one who walks with me is greater than the shadows ahead. Let faith rise, not as a loud declaration, but as a quiet and unwavering resolve. Help me today to trust what I cannot see. I may not understand the reasons behind every closed door or every delayed answer, but I know you are in them. Let me not resent what is not mine to hold. Let me not rush what needs time to grow. Teach me to release the need to control, and instead rest in the assurance that you are already working where my hands cannot reach. Where I see limits, you see opportunity. Where I feel delay, you are orchestrating perfect timing. Give me words today that heal rather than harm, that build rather than break. Let my speech be seasoned with grace and grounded in truth. Let me never underestimate the power of a gentle reply, or the gift of listening when someone needs to speak. Keep me from speaking when silence would serve better. And when it is time to speak, let my words be vessels of your love, carrying comfort, courage, or clarity into someone else's moment of need. And God, if today brings challenges I did not anticipate, let me meet them with steadiness that comes not from my strength, but from yours. Let adversity not harden my spirit, but deepen my dependence on you. Let disappointment not derail my joy, but remind me where my true hope is found. Strengthen my character through every testing, refine my heart through every trial, and increase my capacity to reflect you even in moments that stretch me. Let me walk today not for approval, but from a place of knowing I am already loved. Set me free from the pressure to perform, to prove, or to please. Help me to live authentically, unafraid of weakness, because it is in weakness that your power is made perfect. Let me be honest in my struggle, not ashamed. Let me be transparent in my growth, not guarded. And let others see not a flawless image, but a faithful journey. Lord, when the noise of the world threatens to drown out your whisper, draw me back into the stillness. Let me carry silence within me, a holy hush beneath the surface of everything I do. In the business of tasks and the movement of life, let there be a quiet room in my soul where I can return to you again and again. Remind me that my worth is not measured by productivity, but by proximity to you. Fill my thoughts with what is true, noble, and pure. Let me guard my mind from lies that try to take root, lies about who I am, about what I can change, about what is ahead. Replace them with truth that lifts and anchors me. And when discouragement comes like a heavy fog, help me to rise by remembering not what I feel, but what I know, that you are good, that you are near, and that you are not done writing the story. If I feel unseen today, remind me that you see. If I feel unheard, remind me that you listen. If I feel small in a world that demands more than I have, remind me that I matter not because of what I bring, but because of whose I am. Let that identity sustain me more than compliments or criticism, more than success or failure. Teach me to move through this day rooted in belonging. And when the evening comes, God, may I not simply measure this day by what was achieved, but by how well I loved, by how present I was, by how gently I treated those around me. Let the legacy of today not be found in accolades, but in unseen moments where grace reigned. Patience prevailed, and kindness whispered louder than noise. Let the quiet victories be enough. So as I step forward into the unfolding of this day, I carry with me the tenderness of our time together, the reminders of who you are and who I am in you. The stillness that started in the early dawn does not leave me as I go. It walks with me. It steadies my hands, softens my words, and shapes the lens through which I see the world. And in that, I find peace not because everything is perfect, but because I walk with the one who is. Father, as the thread of your presence quietly weaves through the minutes of this unfolding morning, I step again into this sacred hush, where nothing is forced and everything flows from grace. The serenity that settled over my soul lingers gently, like dew on grass before the sun rises high. I do not want to rush past this stillness. I want to live inside it, to breathe within the awareness that you are here, that you are near, and that everything I need begins with this very moment of closeness with you. Lord, it humbles me to know that you meet me not because I have earned it, but because you are faithful, not because I speak the right words, but because you long to draw near. You come not only when I feel strong, but especially when I am uncertain, when the future feels unclear, and the next step is dimly lit. You meet me in my searching and stay with me through my silence. You wait for me even when I am distracted, and welcome me back with no judgment when my focus finally returns. God, I open my heart wider to you right now, not to impress you but to be honest with you. You already see the inner dialogue that runs quietly behind my eyes, the thoughts that swirl, the comparisons that creep in, the fears that dress themselves in logic. I bring them to you without filters. I bring the messy places, the worn places, and even the parts I still pretend are fine. I know you do not require polished prayers. You just want me, and here I am, still seeking, still surrendering, still hoping. If today brings unexpected detours or delays, teach me to respond with grace rather than frustration. Let me see your hand in the interruptions. Help me believe that delays are not denials, and that sometimes the most important moments are hidden in what I did not plan. Let me embrace what you allow, trusting that what I do not understand today might one day be the very thing that leads me into something deeper. Let peace be my posture, not because everything makes sense, but because I have decided to trust you in what does not. When I encounter others today, Lord, make me slow to assume, quick to understand, and willing to pause before I react. Let compassion guide my interactions. Let empathy shape my tone. Remind me that every soul I meet carries burdens unseen, battles I may never know. Keep me from speaking words that wound. Let me be known for gentleness, not judgment. Let my presence be a soft place for others to land, not a sharp edge that cuts deeper. And Father, for those moments when my emotions feel heavy, when sadness brushes against my thoughts or a quiet ache surfaces with no name, remind me that even these tender places are safe with you. Let me not resist sorrow when it visits, but let me bring it into the light of your comfort. You do not ask me to pretend. You invite me to rest in the honesty of what is, even when it is complicated. Let me grieve when I need to. Without shame, let my tears water something sacred. Today, as I move through ordinary tasks, remind me that nothing done with love is ever small. Whether I am washing dishes or holding someone's hand, speaking truth or staying silent, let me do it all as an offering to you. Worship be woven into the mundane. Let me walk slowly enough to witness beauty, to feel the weight of now, to know that this moment, this breath, this step matters in ways I may never fully see. Give me courage, Lord, not only for the hard things, but for the quiet obedience you ask of me. Sometimes, the greatest acts of faith are not loud but unseen. Help me to forgive even when it feels undeserved, to stay kind when kindness is not returned, to show up when no one claps, to believe again when disappointment lingers. Remind me that faith is not the absence of doubt, but the decision to trust you anyway. If fear tries to steal my peace today, let me anchor myself in truth, not in a forced confidence, but in a quiet knowing that I am never alone, that you walk with me into every room, every meeting, every unknown. Let courage rise not because I am bold, but because I am yours. Let fear lose its grip when it sees I am not fighting alone. Let me also notice joy today, not the loud kind that demands attention, but the subtle kind that shows up in a breeze on my face, in the warmth of sunlight through the window, in the smile of someone who needed nothing but presence. Let me be someone who recognizes joy in small things and shares it freely, without needing a reason. Let joy be a rebellion against despair, a quiet declaration that hope is still alive. God, remind me to extend grace to myself today too. Help me release the unrealistic expectations I sometimes hold myself to. Let me be patient with my growth. Let me celebrate small progress. Let me be gentle with my failures. Remind me that you are not standing over me with a scorecard, but walking beside me with open arms. I do not need to be perfect to be loved by you. I already am. If weariness settles in, let me remember that rest is not weakness. Let me pause when I need to, breathe when I must, and not apologize for needing space to restore my soul. The world may applaud hustle, but you bless stillness. Help me learn to live from overflow, not depletion. From connection, not performance. From love, not pressure. Let this day be one of intention, where I do not just survive, but truly live. Where I do not wait for peace to come from the outside, but carry it within me like a flame that cannot be put out. Where I remember that you go before me, walk beside me, and remain behind me. That I am never outside the reach of your goodness. So I step forward now, not because everything is certain, but because I am learning to walk by faith, with each breath, with each moment, with each choice to trust. I move in rhythm with your grace, and in that rhythm, I find my peace. Lord, as I continue to walk in the rhythm of your grace, I sense the gentle unfolding of this day like a flower blooming in slow motion quiet. Intentional and full of purpose. The peace you planted in me is not just a feeling, but a foundation, something I return to as each hour builds upon the last. There is a steadiness in knowing you go with me, and from that steadiness I draw courage to face what comes next. I carry the warmth of our time together like sunlight under my skin, a quiet strength hidden from the world but deeply known by you. Father, I ask that you keep my eyes open to what is real today, not the illusions of fear or comparison, but the deeper truth that you are present in the now. Let me not rush past the beauty of this moment, searching for the next. Teach me to be here. Teach me to see what you are doing in the spaces between my plans. Let each breath remind me that I am alive for a reason, and that even in stillness, purpose pulses through me. God, I long to hear your whispers more clearly, not just in the loud declarations, but in the gentle nudges, in the unexpected kindness, in the quiet conviction that grows not from guilt, but from love. Train my spirit to recognize your tone amid the noise of the day. Help me filter out the voices that drain and deceive, and tune my heart to your voice that always builds, restores, and points toward light. Let my words today be chosen with care. Let me not speak simply to fill silence, but to build bridges, to bring hope, to extend kindness. May my tone reflect your tenderness, and my truth be carried on the wings of humility. Help me say what needs to be said, and remain silent when silence protects peace. Use my voice to comfort, not to control. To uplift, not to impress. Let no word be wasted, and no silence be misunderstood. Father, for the people I will encounter today, those I expect, and those I do not, prepare my heart to meet them as you would, whether they bring joy, challenge, or indifference. Help me see them through your eyes. Remind me that everyone is carrying something. Let my responses be rooted not in my mood, but in your mercy. If someone lashes out, help me listen for the wound beneath their words. If someone seems distant, remind me they may be protecting something fragile. Let me be a gentle presence even in tense spaces. There will be tasks today that feel mundane or thankless, but remind me that nothing done with love is insignificant. Whether I am cleaning a room, responding to emails, or lending a hand, let me infuse those acts with intention. Let excellence be an expression of worship, not perfectionism. Let consistency reflect devotion, not performance. Even in what no one sees, you are there, and that alone gives it meaning. If discouragement tries to settle in, Lord, interrupt it with remembrance. Help me recall how far you have brought me. Let me not measure myself against someone else's highlight reel, but by the quiet evidence of my own growth. The strength I have now was once a prayer whispered through tears. The peace I carry today was once a longing that felt out of reach. Remind me that progress is not always visible, but it is real. That healing often begins before it is felt. That you are always working beneath the surface. Let joy find me unexpectedly today, not as a reward, but as a gift. In the laugh I did not plan, in the song that stirs my soul, in the kindness of a stranger, or the scent of rain on warm pavement. Let me not overlook these small reminders of goodness. Teach me to savor joy without guilt, to lean into delight without fear that it will be taken. Let joy be my protest against despair, a declaration that light still wins. Give me wisdom, Father, not just the kind that solves problems, but the kind that knows when to pause, when to wait, when to let go. Let me not force what is not ready or cling to what is fading. Help me discern the difference between what is meant for me and what simply distracts me. Keep my steps aligned with peace. Let clarity come not from overthinking, but from communion with you. In moments when I feel overlooked or misunderstood, remind me that you see me completely, that I do not have to perform to be noticed by you. You see the hours no one applauds, the sacrifices that go unseen, the faithfulness in the background. You know my motives, my fears, and my hopes. Let that be enough for me today. Let your knowing be my comfort when human recognition fails. God, let love be the thread that ties all things together today. Let it color my choices, my tone, my actions, and my reactions. Let it lead me when I am unsure and anchor me when I am afraid. Love is not always convenient, but it is always worth it. Teach me to love without condition, not from weakness, but from the strength of knowing I am loved without condition by you. For the goals I carry in my heart, Lord, help me to hold them loosely and trust you with their unfolding. If you open a door, let me walk through it with courage. If you close one, let me not pound on it in frustration. Let me trust your timing, even when it challenges my plans. Remind me that delay is not always denial, and sometimes redirection is your mercy in disguise. And if at any point I grow weary today, not just physically, but in spirit, teach me to rest without guilt. Let me come back to this space of stillness, of communion, and be refilled. Let me rest not just to recover, but to remember who I am, whose I am, and what really matters. Let rest restore my joy, renew my perspective, and reconnect me to you as the day stretches before me. Let me walk gently but purposefully. Let every moment become a chance to practice presence. Let me notice, listen, reflect, and respond, not react. Let me be a bearer of peace and a steward of light. Let me move in the confidence that you are guiding, not just in the big things, but in the subtle rhythms of this very day. So, I move forward not with certainty about everything that will come, but with a deepening certainty that whatever comes, you are already there. That truth alone sustains me. That truth alone shapes how I begin, how I continue, and how I will end this day with open hands, a quiet heart, and unwavering trust in your unfailing love. Father, as the quietness of this morning stretches onward, I remain rooted in the assurance of your presence. What was planted in the stillness of yesterday, hope, trust, gentleness, continues to take shape within me. There is something sacred about knowing you are not only at the beginning of my day, but woven into every step, every breath, every unfolding moment. I carry the peace you placed in my spirit like a hidden stream, flowing quietly beneath the surface, nourishing everything I will touch today. Lord, I sense how much you delight not just in my victories, but in my being. Not for what I accomplish or what others may say, but for the simple fact that I belong to you. That truth reframes everything. I do not need to perform to be accepted, or strive endlessly to prove my worth. You already see me fully. And still, you stay close. That closeness does not depend on my strength, but rests on your unshakable grace. And from that grace, I rise today, not with pride, but with peace. God, give me the kind of focus that anchors my mind in the right direction. In a world that shouts so many things at once, teach me to guard my attention, to be intentional with what I allow into my thoughts. Let me not drift aimlessly from distraction to distraction. Guide me to prioritize what matters: relationships over routines, stillness over noise, depth over appearance. Let me be aware not just of what I do, but who I am becoming in the process. If doubts creep in today, Father, let your truth be louder. When I question whether I am enough, remind me that you have already declared I am. When I wonder if I can handle what is ahead, let me look back and see every place you have sustained me before. I do not need all the answers to move forward. I just need the next step, and the quiet confidence that you will meet me there. Help me not to hurry past your whispers. In the rush of tasks and the pressure to keep up, I do not want to miss the gentle way you speak through creation, through others, through the quiet nudge in my heart. Let me respond to interruptions with grace, not irritation. Let me see delays not as punishments, but as invitations to pause and lean in closer. Let discomfort be a doorway, not a dead end. Teach me that even detours can lead to divine appointments. Today, I ask for discernment in my conversations. Let my words carry the tone of heaven, peaceful, sincere, filled with grace. Whether I speak to friends, coworkers, strangers, or loved ones, let me be present, not rehearsed. Let me listen more than I speak, and when I speak, let my words build, not break. May truth and kindness walk hand in hand through every exchange. Let no idle or careless words slip through my lips, but only those that leave light behind. Let my actions echo what my heart believes. In every responsibility, big or small, let me serve with integrity and heart. Let diligence flow not from obligation, but from devotion. And when fatigue presses in, remind me that I am not called to do it all, only what you have placed before me. Grant me the wisdom to release what is not mine to carry, and the courage to hold steady what is. Help me be faithful in the unseen places, for I know you are always watching, always cheering, always near. Father, when I encounter challenges that stretch me, let me not panic or shrink. Instead, let me rise in quiet strength, drawing not from my own resources, but from your endless supply. Remind me that what looks like limitation may be an invitation to rely on you more fully. Teach me that struggle does not mean failure, and tension does not equal defeat. You are the God who brings beauty from ashes, purpose from pain, and clarity from confusion. Let that truth settle deep in my spirit. Give me patience for people and patience for myself. Let me be slow to judge and quick to understand. In moments when others fall short, remind me that I too am a work in progress. Help me to extend the same compassion I so often crave. When I make mistakes, and I will let me turn quickly to you, not out of shame, but out of trust. Let failure not become a verdict, but a lesson. Let grace not become an excuse, but an invitation to growth. Let my mind be a dwelling place for peace. Guard it from spirals of worry, from storms of overthinking, from the weight of what-ifs. Let truth be my filter, not fear. When negative thoughts knock, let praise answer the door. When the enemy whispers lies, let your promises drown them out. Remind me that I have the power to redirect my thoughts and the authority to speak peace into my own soul through your word. Lord, bless the spaces I enter today, my home, my work, the streets I walk, the calls I make. Let them be filled with your presence. Let whoever enters those spaces feel something different, not just positivity, but peace, not just kindness, but purpose. Let my life be an atmosphere shifter, not because I am perfect, because I carry the one who is. Prepare me for unexpected moments. Not everything will go as planned, and that is okay. Let my first instinct be trust, not frustration. Help me to remember that you are not only in the calm, but also in the chaos. Let me be flexible without fear, steady without stubbornness when changes arise. Let me ask, what are you teaching me, rather than why is this happening? Let me be a learner today, not just a doer. If I see someone in need, let me respond quickly with empathy, with action, with sincerity. Let me not turn away because I am busy or uncomfortable. Let me be interruptible for love. Let me remember that the most powerful ministry is often unplanned. A kind word, a genuine question, a warm smile. Help me to see people, not just pass by them. To engage, not avoid. To be your hands and feet wherever you send me. As the sun rises higher, let your light rise in me. Let it cast out the shadows I did not even realize were there. Let it reveal what needs to be healed, reshaped, or released. But also let it illuminate the good you have been doing all along, the progress I forgot to celebrate, the beauty I failed to notice, the mercy that met me even in my mess. Let the light of your love color how I see everything today. Let thankfulness be my rhythm, not just a response to blessings, but a way of living. Let gratitude recalibrate my perspective when I feel lack. Let it remind me that I am already rich in love, in breath, in hope. And if I face something hard today, let me give thanks in it, if not yet for it. Because even in the struggle, you are shaping something that will one day be a testimony. So, I step forward with a heart open to your movements, ears tuned to your whispers, and eyes searching for traces of you in the ordinary. Let my day not be measured by productivity alone, but by peace, by presence, by purpose. Let the unseen victories carry as much weight as the visible ones. Let my heart remain soft, my spirit ready, and my hands willing. And in all of this, let love lead me steady, brave, and free. God, as I linger in the quiet flow of this morning, I am reminded that love is not just a beautiful idea, is the force that carries me, shapes me, and leads me forward. From the very first breath of this day to the silent stirrings within my heart, it is your love that whispers truth, lifts the weight of doubt, and invites me again into trust. It is this love that keeps calling me deeper, not with demand, but with delight, and so I follow, not always knowing the path, but knowing the one who walks with me. Father, I bring you my mind again today, not just my thoughts, but the deeper currents beneath them. You see the patterns, the inner dialogues, the fears that sometimes try to camouflage themselves as logic. Cleanse what needs cleansing, quiet what needs silencing, and renew what needs refreshing. Help me unlearn the habits of anxiety and relearn the rhythm of rest. Train me to pause long enough to notice what is shaping me, because every thought becomes a direction. Every focus becomes a seed. Lord, as my day unfolds, may my spirit stay in step with yours. I do not want to simply complete tasks or check off goals. I want to be aligned with purpose. Let each decision come from clarity, not haste. Let me ask not just what do I need to do, but what honors you most here, whether the moment is mundane or meaningful. Help me to approach it with the same attentiveness. Let me live aware, not just busy. Present, not just productive. Help me remain soft in a world that teaches hardness. There are moments when the temptation is to close off, to self-protect, to stop caring so deeply. But I do not want to become numb to people or desensitized to pain. Instead, strengthen my heart with compassion, not the kind that drains, but the kind that pours from a well you keep refilling. Let me carry both wisdom and tenderness, both truth and mercy, like two hands held open in balance. Father, where there are wounds still unspoken, touch those places with kindness. There are H's not even I fully understand, silent griefs I have learned to carry without naming. But you know them all. You have seen every disappointment tucked beneath my smile, every battle fought behind closed doors. And even still, you call me beloved. You do not rush me through the process. You do not demand that I pretend. You just stay, healing me slowly with presence, not pressure. Let my inner world be anchored, no matter what storms may arise externally. If conflict finds me today, let peace find me first. If criticism comes, let confidence in your voice rise louder. Let me respond, not react. Let me choose my posture before I choose my words. And when I must be firm, let me be gracious. Let truth and love never feel like opposites, but like partners walking hand in hand through every interaction. When uncertainty presses in, steady me. Remind me that not all answers come quickly, but wisdom grows through patience. Teach me not to fear the in-between places, the waiting rooms of life, because sometimes that is where the most important things are planted. Let me find meaning even when I cannot find clarity, and when I cannot trace your hand. Let me trust your heart, Lord. Continue shaping my desires until they match yours. Filter my ambitions so they are fueled not by ego, but by eternity. Let me want what you want, even if it costs comfort. Let me hunger for the kind of success that heaven applauds, character over clout, impact over image, legacy over likes. Remind me that true fulfillment comes not from being known, but from knowing I have walked in obedience, however quiet that path may seem. Help me honor the moments others overlook, a small act of service, a quiet choice to forgive, a smile no one saw. Let me never underestimate the weight of these seemingly insignificant moments. Remind me that you see every detail, and in your kingdom, nothing done in love is ever wasted. Let me sow kindness in secret and trust that you are the one who multiplies it in ways I may never see. God, where I feel weak, let that be the very place you show your strength. I do not need to impress you with endurance. I just need to be honest. So here I am again, not flawless, but faithful, not perfect, but present. Let my imperfections become the very place where your grace writes its most beautiful stories. Let today not be about proving my worth, but receiving your goodness. If comparison tries to steal my joy, shut its voice quickly. Remind me that I am not called to their race, their pace, their story. Let me celebrate others without questioning my own progress. Let me cheer for what you are doing in them while staying confident in what you are doing in me. Jealousy has no home in a heart full of gratitude. So fill me with so much thankfulness. There is no room left for envy. Strengthen my boundaries so I may give without depletion and love without losing myself. Show me where to say yes with joy and where to say no with peace. Remind me that even Jesus rested. Even he walked away to pray. Teach me that boundaries are not barriers, but bridges to sustainability. They help me love longer, serve wiser, and protect what matters most. Let laughter find its way into my day. Let me not take everything so seriously that I forget the gift of joy. Show me the humor in the chaos, the beauty in the mess, the blessing in the interruptions. Let my spirit dance even if my circumstances are heavy. Let lightness rise from within, not because life is always easy, but because you are always near. Make me a carrier of peace, not just a seeker of it. Let the way I move through rooms bring calm, not tension. Let the way I show up remind others of safety. Let the peace you have planted in me become a shelter for those who are anxious, confused, or wary. I do not have to fix everyone. I just need to reflect you. When this day draws to a close, let me be able to look back and see moments that mattered. Not necessarily grand achievements, but honest love, courageous truth, quiet growth. Let me see how you wove yourself into conversations, decisions, interruptions, and all the seemingly ordinary spaces. And let me go to rest not with regret, but with gratitude. Keep me rooted in who I am, not who the world says I should be, but who you created me to become. Let my identity not sway with opinion or applause. Let it be grounded in your word, your presence, and your promise. You call me chosen, beloved, equipped, and called. Let that be the banner over every step I take. And above all, let today be a testimony, not just in words, but in how I walk, how I speak, how I respond. Let my life be a prayer that never ends. Let my choices echo your character. Let my presence reflect your love. And let everything I do today whisper one truth: that you are good, and you are here, Lord. as I step from the stillness of yesterday into the unfolding light of today. I carry with me a desire to remain aware of the sacredness in every breath, every moment, every chance to love and be loved. I do not want to treat this new beginning casually. I want to wake up to it with reverence. The day is not just a calendar box to be filled, but a canvas you have already started to paint with grace. Let me add to that beauty by walking through it with intention and quiet trust. Father, what lingers from yesterday, I gently place in your hands now. Any heaviness I have brought with me, questions I did not answer, peace I did not find, words I left unsaid, you already know them. You are not surprised by what I carry, nor are you impatient with my pace. You meet me here, not demanding I move faster, but simply inviting me to take one more step toward healing, toward clarity, toward the wholeness you so patiently offer. God, awaken my spiritual ears to hear you today in places where I might have missed you before. In the rustle of the leaves, in the laughter of a stranger, in the silence between moments, in the ache of longing or the joy of presence, help me not only to notice, but to truly listen. So often I expect your voice in loud declarations or supernatural signs. But you are also the whisper it waits for me to be still long enough to recognize it. Teach me how to live slower in a world that moves too fast. Let me linger longer with people who matter. Let me savor my food instead of rushing through it. Let me put my phone down and look someone in the eyes. Let me take walks without checking the time. Let me be unrushed in conversations and generous in attention. Help me see that slowness is not weakness, it is the birthplace of depth. Lord, help me remember that my life speaks even when my lips are silent. My attitude, my posture, my presence, they all leave an impression on others. Let that impression be one of warmth, of kindness, of peace. Let me be known not for being right, but for being real, not for having it all together, but for showing up with honesty and compassion. Let my life be a mirror of the hope you plant in me each morning. Where I feel unnoticed, remind me that I am seen, not just seen in a general sense, but intimately known. You do not simply glance at my life, you dwell in it. You see the unseen battles, the private tears, the invisible strength it takes to keep going. And even when the world forgets to acknowledge my efforts, you call them sacred. You never measure me by results, but by the heart with which I rise and keep loving. Father, give me courage to show up authentically in spaces that may not always welcome vulnerability. The world often rewards performance, not presence, and it is tempting to hide behind masks of control or perfection. But let me be honest even when it feels risky. Let me be open even when it might hurt. Let me trust that my worth is not reduced by someone else's misunderstanding. Help me to be brave enough to be soft. Strengthen my ability to forgive quickly and deeply, not because the offense was small or the pain insignificant, but because freedom is more valuable than resentment. Let me choose mercy, not because they deserve it, but because I need it too. Let me remember that holding on to bitterness does not protect me, it only prolongs the ache. So, soften my heart, even if I have every reason to harden it. Show me how to love from a place of wisdom, not wounds. God, help me balance vision with surrender. I want to dream boldly, but I also want to release the outcomes into your care. Show me how to work diligently without clinging. Let my plans be anchored in faith, not fear. If the door opens, let me walk through it with humility. If it closes, let me trust you are guiding me to something better. Let me hold all things loosely, so that I never confuse my calling with my control. When I am tempted to overextend myself to earn validation, pull me back. You never ask me to prove my worth through exhaustion. You delight in my being, not just my doing. Remind me that it is okay to rest without guilt, to pause without shame, to say no without explanation. Boundaries are not signs of failure, they are acts of stewardship. Let me honor the sacred work of tending to my own soul. Open my eyes to the needs around me, not with overwhelm, but with discernment. I cannot fix every broken thing, but I can be faithful in the place I am planted. Let me be a comfort to the person next to me, a word of hope to someone feeling forgotten, a steady presence for someone walking through chaos. Use my life as a small offering that speaks of you, not through grand gestures, but through simple, consistent love. Let beauty not be something I pass by too quickly. Let me notice the way sunlight touches the floor, the way wind hums through the trees, the quiet magic in an ordinary cup of tea. Let me appreciate these gifts not as background noise, but as reminders of your creativity and care. Teach me that beauty is not a luxury, but a language of grace. God, when insecurity creeps in, speak louder than the voices of doubt. The world might measure me by appearance, performance, or popularity, but you measure me by faithfulness, by courage, by love. Let me be deeply rooted in the truth that I am enough, not because I have earned it, but because you say I am. Let me stop striving for worth and start living from it. When I face moments of tension or misunderstanding, give me the wisdom to pause. Let me not rush to defend or retaliate. Let me ask what the other person might be carrying. Let me see their humanity before I see their offense. Let empathy soften the edges of my judgment. Let grace be the first word on my lips, even when it is hard. And if grief visits me today, let it not be unwelcome. Let me feel what I need to feel without shame. Let me remember that tears are not signs of weakness, but sacred releases. That brokenness does not disqualify me, it deepens me. Let me trust that even in pain, something holy is being formed, that even in loss, you are still writing resurrection stories. Father, remind me that I do not walk through this life alone, that while my journey is unique, I am not isolated. You walk beside me, and you also send people to walk with me. Let me notice the gifts of friendship, the quiet loyalty of those who stay, the unexpected kindness of strangers. Let me cherish connection over convenience, truth over comfort, depth over distraction. Let love be the thread that weaves through every part of this day. Let it guide how I speak, how I listen, how I respond. Let it interrupt my pride, soften my impatience, fuel my actions. Let it be more than sentiment, let it be the lens through which I see the world. A love that does not boast, does not demand, does not fade when things get hard. a love that reflects you. And as this day stretches before me, let my soul stay aligned with the quiet rhythms of your spirit. Let me not get swept up in the noise of urgency or the illusion of control. Let me be rooted in peace, anchored in presence, and carried by grace, whatever may come, success or setback, clarity or confusion. I will keep returning to this still center, where I am held, where I am known, and where I am never alone. Lord, as the morning stretches gently across the sky, and this prayer finds its final breath for now, I come before you with quiet gratitude, knowing that every whispered word, every sacred pause, every longing poured into these moments has not been lost. You have gathered each one, like dew on early grass, tender and unnoticed by many, but known to you completely. You do not require eloquence to meet me, nor do you demand perfection to stay. You simply ask that I come as I am, and I have, again and again, with trembling hope and open hands. Father, through the rising of each chapter, you have peeled back the layers I often shield, not to expose me for judgment, but to embrace me more deeply. You have shown me that prayer is not just a monologue of requests, but a dance of communion, a stillness of soul where I learn to breathe with you. Even now, as words find their way to the page one last time in this rhythm, I do not feel an ending but a continuation, a quiet echo that will carry into the unfolding hours. God, you have walked beside me in sorrow, in celebration, in doubt, and in joy. You have been the comfort when I could not name my grief, and the strength when I felt I could no longer stand. You have filled empty spaces with meaning and rewrote fear into peace. You have challenged me to grow, but never without first offering rest. You are not only the one I run to in crisis, but the one who walks with me in the ordinary moments when no one else sees the weight I carry or the courage it takes to keep going. So now, as this moment of sacred stillness begins to dissolve into the rhythms of a new day, I ask not for more answers, but for more presence. Let me not forget what has been poured into these pages. Let it shape how I live beyond these walls of prayer. Let this time not simply be remembered, but lived through me in my gestures, my thoughts, my compassion. Let others see the residue of these quiet conversations with you, not as performance, but as peace that lingers even when words are few. Let kindness continue to shape my path, not the kind that is surface level or polite, but the kind that costs something, the kind that listens with intention, forgives without being asked, gives without keeping score. Let that kindness be the gentle revolution in my spirit, a way of loving that transforms rooms without needing to shout, a way of living that is rooted in truth, but wrapped in gentleness. Let gratitude be the language I speak fluently, not because everything is perfect, but because everything is a gift. The people I love, the lessons I have learned, the sun rising one more time, the chance to keep growing, even the wounds, the losses, the detours, they have shaped me in ways I never imagined. Let me not need more to finally feel thankful. Let me be rich in appreciation for the simple, the honest, the real. God, as the world around me speeds forward, help me remember that slowness is not failure. Stillness is not wasted time. Silence is not emptiness. You are in those places. You are in the waiting, the quiet progress, the silent hope. Let me not confuse visibility with value or applause with significance. Let me not need to be seen by many to know I matter deeply to you. Even when I feel small, remind me I am not insignificant. I am part of something far greater than what I can touch or measure. My presence here is not an accident. You have placed me in this time, this body, this life, for a purpose woven with eternal threads. Let me never belittle what you have called sacred. Let me rise with a quiet confidence, not built on the certainty of outcomes, but on the certainty of being held. If the road ahead brings more questions than clarity, let me walk anyway. Let me trust that your hand guides even when I cannot see. Let me find courage not in guarantees, but in your unchanging nature. I may not know what tomorrow holds, but I know you. And that is enough to breathe again. That is enough to open my heart again. That is enough to love again. May I become a safe place for others, not because I've all the answers, but because I know how to listen, how to sit with someone in their valley, how to offer presence without trying to fix them. Let me not rush people to healing, but walk beside them in the process. Let my own wounds become windows of compassion, not walls of protection. Let my scars be reminders that broken things can still carry beauty. Let me never stop being amazed by grace. Let it catch me off guard in the best ways. Let it find me when I am tired, when I am stubborn, when I have forgotten how much I need it. Let it never become routine. Let it always be the unexpected warmth, the undeserved kindness, the fresh air when I am gasping for breath. Grace is not a story I outgrow. It is the rhythm of my heartbeat, the melody of my survival. And now, as this prayer draws close, I find myself not closing a door, but opening a window. The air feels different somehow, not because the world has changed, but because I have been changed in the stillness with you. I carry no need to tie a bow around these moments. No need to declare an ending. I simply step into the next breath with awareness. I carry forward the echo of this time in every act of love, every moment of peace, every decision to choose hope. Thank you for walking this entire path with me. Thank you for being present in every line, every pause, every whisper of doubt and flicker of joy. Thank you for not growing weary when I faltered, for not turning away when I questioned, for holding space when I had no words. You are the constant in the change, the anchor in the drift, the light in the in-between. To those who have prayed with me across these chapters, thank you. You have honored this journey not just by reading or listening, but by bringing your own heart to these words. Your presence matters. Your faith, even if quiet or uncertain, has weight. Whether you came here with hope or heartache, with clarity or confusion, you were never alone, and you still are not. If any word from this journey has settled into your soul, let it take root. Let it grow into action, into courage, into love that ripples outward. And if you feel moved, share your prayer below. Your voice might be the answer someone else has been searching for. You are a part of something beautiful, and your story is not finished. Please subscribe to this channel and share this video with someone who may need a sacred pause in their day. Let us keep walking in faith together through the highs, the lows, and the quiet mornings where the soul meets light. And now, as the sky begins to blush with the first gentle hues of dawn and a cool breeze brushes the trees awake, I pause not to end but to simply breathe and listen and walk forward with the steady rhythm of grace beside me.